corporation tends to get my paycheck in at the right time most of
I
the
hope
time.
so.
Log in and roll 20, Joe. Just, so you're there. If you
Working
ever
on it.
needed to roll something.
I have started recording, though.
Yay.
Indeed.
Hello, recording.
This is an auspicious moment. This is
I know,
campaign
right?
3, ladies and gents.
Chris.
This is so exciting.
So we begin. 3 weeks. 3 weeks of staring out into the mystical astral sea, the dense carpet of stars that only grew more textured and vivid as you left your home planet and the light of your sun receded into the distance. Your family spread among 3 ships, all those swept up in the trial about the criminal enterprise that took what was not theirs from the rightful rulers of the land. 3 ships with a full crew of sailors who cared little for your family's plight and much more for their pay packets. Each ship has an advisor, too, a flamen of the Temple of Desimata, that you might begin your repentance while still en route. Another dozen ships accompany you, their passengers also on this trip to an unknown world. Some come, as you do, with no other recourse. All of this little fleet carried here by the will and rule of the Amboli Celestali, who proposed this unusual mission of mercy in the first place. And you can hardly forget her involvement and her presence as she flies in the middle of this starbound fleet, needing no ship to propel herself and no chart to guide her. She is resplendent in her fine robes, rippling in the currents between the worlds, her luxurious blonde hair cascading down her back behind her. Desimata is the picture of holiness, salvation, and purity. Her skin radiates its own light, like a promise of the miracle of life that is at the end of your journey. From her comes warmth as well, encouraging the fleet to keep close formation and keep with her in the long night of the astral sea. For though you proceed to a dark gap between the stars, it is not empty, and it is not to remain dark after your arrival. By some communication, known only to her and her kind, she became aware of this place, a world that once lived and breathed, a people which once grew and flourished, but now sitting cold and dormant and dark, circling invisibly in the sky around a star that offers it no light, no energy, and no warmth. The god that once inhabited it, gone, snuffed out as a candle would be in a gale, never to feed its light to its inhabitants again. Light is life. Desimata herself has said it often on this journey, as she has taken time aboard each of the companion ships to tell of her intention to cast herself into the exalted state of sun god and make life for you below on the planet again. Light is life. Her priests and acolytes have repeated their faith strong that Desimata, who is called the Enlightened for believing that not all lost souls were on a path away from redemption, will become the literal guiding light for her people. Light is life. Have come murmurs from all who have heard and watched your progress, and the sky in front of you has seemed blackest. For if it is not indeed life, there is no life for you ahead. There is only the cold comfort of the freezing darkness of the astral seascape. You look over the side of the rail, and your eye is drawn to the twinkling glow of the Amboli who has believed in your redemption. Do you believe in her divinity and her affirmation? Light, life. At last, after a long, curious journey, the moment has come. Your progress slows, and you all gather to listen to the voice of the angel who seems to speak in concert with a chorus of other voices within her own throat. As I am a child of the stars, you are the children of my light. You may go forth soon and soak in the light that gives life. Her words are steady, firm, and assured. There is not, however, elation or excitement in her voice. Desamata is making a choice here that she clearly believes in. But also it is clear that it is not without risk or sacrifice that she has chosen this path. She is the only one of her kind who offered this strange exile as an option to you and your ilk, and the only one who accompanied you on this journey. Our moment has come to take the next step. I leave behind what was, and you honor me when you leave behind what you were, to honor a new future in the world of Aurora. The humanoid form of the Amboli crosses her arms, and as she focuses her gaze downward, the light contained within her begins to erupt outward and erode the material shell of her body. Like sand against water, the flesh of the body gives way to the bright, golden light churning inside. And then the light is in motion, racing away so quickly from the flotilla that it pulls into a long streak in your eyes, the afterimage burned in a long line across your vision. And then far in the distance, it swells into a golden disk in the depth of space, a recognizable shape of a sun, more golden and yellow than the one you have been used to. One of the shafts of light beaming outward from this new bright beacon in the sky resolves itself into a long limb with a shimmering golden hand upon it. And as your gaze follows it, you see the tips of its gigantic fingers alight on the orb of a planet nearby, one that had been invisible in the blackness of the astral sea. Now its edges outlined in a great arc of shimmering gold against the black sky. There are great glowing circles where each of the fingers have touched the surface. All of the ships turn and begin heading towards the planet in earnest, and the hand seems to draw it closer as the surface basks in a gentle light. The smaller points of contact blaze with the living energies of the goddess herself. As you grow closer over the next hour, following parallel with the great arm of Desamata as it positions the planet at the right distance from her great light, flag signals are sent between the various ships in the fleet. Captain Castano consults with the family leaders as well as others in the flotilla about which of the 5 brightly lit landing locations is preferred, and another set of signals is sent back and forth in some discussion. Eventually, word comes that you will be deposited in near the high mountains and bountiful rivers of fresh water in a snowy northern land, a place where timber and fish and perhaps even gold and copper might be plentiful, though navigations will be more difficult. The price for these plentiful resources is facing off against the cold and the snow and the wind. There's a mix of hope and worry among the family members on the ship. Another message comes from the Flamen Desmatas, the religious head of the church that travels with you. Each group will be responsible for bringing the light of the goddess to a high elevation, somewhere visible from a great distance, where it can serve as a beacon to the other groups who have landed. Symbolically, it will confirm the solidarity and faith of all those who have landed. Practically, it will offer a buffer of magical power that can be tapped into by the faithful and provide navigation markers as the groups seek to join up with one another as they establish themselves in their communities. The ships fly close to the gleaming arm of the goddess and gather liquid light from it in special metal orbs. These containers are magical reservoirs that the Flamen intend to use to protect those that are faithful when the journey is at its toughest. And then, as the planet begins to loom large in your view, larger than anything else in the sky, and you can start to pick out land masses and the texture of the land gleaming below, a most unexpected thing happens. From out of the shadows to your port side, a hail of tiny green shards begins to pelt the deck and sting your faces, like ice pellets flying in a winter gale. And no sooner do whispers and shouts go out about this does a strange emerald tinge change the light that falls upon the deck, and a great, jagged moon, green crystal, swoops out of the darkness in front of you and cuts the arm of Desamata into globs of liquid light that are hurled in every direction. With them come chunks of the green moon, some bright and glowing of their own accord, others dark and mysterious green. They are driven into the decks, cut the sails, and form a great field of debris. Your path to the New World is now a treacherous one, littered with two kinds of astral debris. As the captains of various astral vessels try to take evasive maneuvers with their ships, chaos churns in the sky above, and the planet grows ever larger. You are headed, generally, for the location you were promised. The ships are crossing over one another's paths and then spreading out as they head for a potential crash landing on Aurora, a chaotic mask of green crystals and golden liquid plummeting down with them. The ship is plunging towards the planet, clearly out of control, and the various attempts to dodge the debris and shards of glassy emerald rocks and the glowing blobs that are the remnants of Desimata's outreached arm have caused the formation of the three ships to drift several hundred feet apart. As Captain Castano is running about the deck, barking orders to his crew, the wind grows stronger and the deck rocks back and forth as control of the ship is snatched away bit by bit in the chaos. Ben, Kaiser was talking to Amelia, the captain's steward, trying to ascertain what his plans were once they arrived on Aurora, and in an instant both of you have the deck knocked out from under your feet by the wild movement of the Ibis, the ship on which you stand. Now you find Amelia on top of you, pressed sideways into the ship's railing. How was Kaiser prepared and looking for the day?
Before this, he was a little too put together to be spacefaring to an uncharted and unknown planet with a company of both familiar and unfamiliar alike, especially following a gleaming goddess out in the middle of the astral sea. He's about 5'8", still wearing his magistrate trappings of a senior magistrate, working at just under the all powerful magistrati. There's a high collared purple robe beneath a patched and kind of adorned magistrate's vest. Kind of dangles a pocket watch he used as his identification. And yeah, his hair was slicked back, dark, kind of blue black hair, tucked behind his ears. Got kind of a loose beard that comes to a point on his chin. He was looking kind of hopeful, and now he's looking a little uncomfortable and fearful. But his family's pretty scary. At least he doesn't think so, but that's the word around town. So he's dealt with worse, or so people would tell him.
Amelia on top of you is like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I should have my sea legs. I'm sorry. Let me." Her hands are trying to find somewhere to not press on you bodily, as she realizes that you both been kind of thrown against the railing in a not a compromising position, but certainly a much more intimate one than you were intending on having with her as your discussion.
I'm so sorry. That's why. Why did that happen?
I
What's
have
going
no
on?
idea. I would ask the captain, but you see like the captain's boots go by quickly and slide down the railing, and he's barking out orders. Look, no, over there to the cells. No, no, left. Grab him from below. You can just hear total chaos going on. She gets up off of you, and the ship is kind of all tilted to one side, and she tries to help you get to your feet. As you're doing that, Lauren, are you still there, Lauren? She's back. Lauren, Abigail was at the rail, quite curious, as most of the crew were, about the spectacle of the arm of the sun god themselves moving a whole world into place. As the ship rocks to the side and people scatter across the deck, you find yourself shoulder to shoulder with a man named Scalwag. Do I have art? I don't have art, do I?
For a man named Scalwag, no art?
No, I have art for him. I mean, I don't have a spot to put art yet, I don't think.
Yeah, inspiration art.
Yeah. Thank
No
people in
people in
places.
places.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. I didn't even notice.
That is wild considering what we're doing in our first session.
Mhm. Lauren,
There
is
we
that a
go.
new mic? No, I've just never noticed.
No, I've had it. Yeah, I usually try to like move it away, but I didn't.
I like it. It looks cool.
Thanks. I feel all
Yes.
professional with it.
I know. I was like, okay, guys, here's my podcast. Ooh, I love him.
Incredible.
He is a topman, which is someone who works almost exclusively above decks. He is extremely well acquainted with the workings of all the masts and rigging. He's also well acquainted with any number of curse words and rude phrases that even your ears, Abigail, have rarely encountered.
Wonderful.
You and he are kind of like pushed against one another, shoulder to shoulder, and he looks up at the rigging, and you see that there are two ropes loose in the breeze. One has a man and a woman sailor dangling from it, both much younger than Scalwag and yourself. The other has a single shirtless tattooed man holding on by one hand with his hand wrapped around the rope. Scalwag places a knife in his mouth, and he bites down on the blade, looking up and contemplating his next move. What does Abigail look like on the day?
So Abigail she's actually kind of a short woman with her boots on. She's 5'5" max. She has short, curly, black hair that's streaked with gray. She's about 52. She usually wears dark clothes, but today she's wearing her traveling garb, which means that her clothes are slightly less dark. And she has
big
a
difference.
cream-colored, yeah, she's got a cream-colored tunic on. She's a very stern-looking woman. Her face is perpetually in a frown, and she's got the eyes the color of steel. She usually has a sword strapped to her waist. She doesn't have it at the moment, but you should never assume that she's unarmed. So she is looking up at the rigging. She doesn't speak much, so she's just kind of listening to whatever Scalwag is saying, if he's saying anything out loud.
So is she in a position where she's giving or taking orders at the moment, at least to start off?
Ooh, I think she is in a position to where she's taking orders.
Scalwag looks at you and he goes, I can't be on both ends of the rigging. You ever climbed one of these? You don't look like a sailor.
I'm not, but I can give it a go.
He points at the man who is heavily tattooed and says, if you can get him two hands on something, he can take care of himself. These other two, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
He puts his hand down as if to boost you up onto the mast to start climbing up and over to the yardarm.
Wonderful. Abigail will gladly take it, and she'll step on him and make her way up the mast.
All right. Make me a level 3 might check to see if you can do this climb.
And this is a movement task.
Yes, it is.
So I have an asset.
Sweet.
No effort.
First roll.
First roll the campaign.
Ooh, and it was a success.
Yes. Difficulty
Auspicious.
3. A 10 is a success here because you only needed a 6. Yeah, you start. You get vaulted up here by him, and you see that there are grip points on this. If you know what you're looking for to climb the mast, and there's other ropes. You get up to the yard arm and start to walk across. It's not the easiest thing to do because there's you realize a bunch of things have come loose and sails have detached and the ropes aren't great. So you're sort of balancing on the yard arm as the wind has kicked up. This man spots you. He looks at you. He goes, a hand. One hand. You're about 20 or 30 feet away. We will leave you as you are up on the yardarm. Below decks,
As I'm in a perilous position.
Below decks,
Careless predicament.
you hear, Kiara, a number of voices calling out in panic, young people and old getting thrown around in their cabins, and much louder thudding and crunching noises. Joel, Chiara, and your husband Fabio are inside your quarters with your family. He braces himself on the wall and looks at you and the children. He goes, "That's cargo come loose. For sure, it's going to beat the ship apart from the inside. I think all hands are on the deck. We should see if we can help out."
I'll go. Look after the kids. If there's something loose, I don't want them up there.
He's like, "Well, what's going to happen to them in here?" He looks, and sitting in among straw mattresses and blankets that have all been thrown about everywhere. He's like trying to pack something soft around the children to insulate them from whatever is about to happen. He's like, "No, we should go together. You're not going to slug big crates and barrels around, are you?"
We'll be fine. I've done it. Different cargo, but I'm sure the weight there's the same. Just
If you
keep them
come back
safe.
squished, I'm going to be very upset.
She puts her arms around him, gives him a kiss. Well, maybe it would mean that you'd finally get to be taller than me. And she leans in, gives him a kiss, and she's going to leave all 6 feet of her.
He whispers in your ear, "You would mention that right now, wouldn't you?"
It made you smile.
Shakes his head and he goes, "All right, kids, we're going to play a game. It's called look and see if you can squeeze yourself in real tight to the pillows." You head out into the cramped hallway, which you are like basically tilted on a 30-degree angle at the moment, but it does keep changing as you go here. And you start heading up to where you hear a lot of these crunching and thumping noises. You find yourself at a doorway that has cracked a little bit on its hinges. Something has hit it at least once. What do you do?
Sorry, what exactly is cracked?
The doorway looks like the frame has been hit
Okay.
at least once, so it's not sitting square in its frame anymore.
All right. She's going to very carefully put her shoulder against the door in case something is like trying to like pitch through, and see if she's gonna try to pull a handle up and see if a weight is coming in.
As you like test the door and just open it a little bit, it doesn't look like there's anything against the door at the moment, but you can see a bunch of things have toppled over, and there are like loose ropes and a broken barrel with a bunch of wine or something that is spilled out on the deck, making it all wet underneath. So that all of the stuff in here, it's sliding around more than it would because of the dampness. The cargo was not stowed for landing,
okay.
and now it's going to be even worse.
All right.
So yeah,
I'm gonna look
got a
around
view
see if
inside the room.
there's what?
There, you have a view inside the room, and
All
you
right.
can get through the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna look and see if there's anything I can find to assist this situation from getting any worse.
Are you trying to like move things around, or are you just trying to look for something to tie down what's here?
Tie down what's not destroyed already.
All right, it's easy to find a bunch of ropes. You can go ahead and make me a level 4 speed task to try and secure some of this cargo.
Alrighty. Woo!
Yay!
Sweet, another 10. It's right down the middle of this this whole campaign so far. Yeah, you find a couple of the heavy ropes, and you see that there are anchor points on the deck, and you start looping them through, and you're going as fast as you can before the deck starts to shift again, and then you're, as he said, squished in a way that you're not particularly keen on being.
As I'm doing this, though, I am going to lean out and call for assistance. So yeah, hopefully somebody can give me a hand.
Just a general somebody help here?
I'm gonna call it. If you want any supplies to help us when we land, I need some help before it all gets dashed to pieces.
All right. We move over. The kitchen and the mess hall were quite calm a few minutes ago, Beatrice, and a snack seemed in order. You could see the divine miracle from the porthole and have a nice bit of bread to boot. And now the whole place is a mass of unintentional projectiles, and you and Nero, one of your constant companions, find yourselves under a table, plates and spoons and forks flying about the deck as the ship rocks violently. How do you look today, and what is your reaction to the sudden chaos?
Before the chaos was happening, Beatrice, as always, is very well put together, still wearing very regal clothing, even despite the fact that, they're headed out to be exiled. Um, she stands very straight and very tall, which is surprising for she's only 5'4", but most people wouldn't really think about that when they look at her. They think she was taller. Her red hair was very put up together. She was presented like she would be for a normal gathering with her family. And now currently is the hair she spent so long to look, with certain hairs out of place, now are all kind of frazzled and together, and she's a little bit questioning why she decided to wear such long sleeves and a long dress. But her face remains neutral and calm. Or at least try.
Nero's does not. She is suddenly wide-eyed, and she looks at and she goes, "What is it what is going on? Why are we under a table and all this crap is flying around? What?"
I've heard this thing called turbulence. Maybe that's what's happening.
I hear a lot of thumping on the deck, and you hear a voice calling out, "If you want to hear supplies, need it, help!" It kind of cut off intermittently from somewhere.
The voice?
Yeah. You recognize that it is your. I guess your. What is your actual relationship?
A strange sister. Yeah.
Yeah. It is your sister at a higher pitch and volume than you're normally used to hearing her.
Oh. She'll trying to as gracefully crawl out from under the table and try to maybe stand up, kind of realize, oop, it's not super working. So she tried to get over to where where she heard the voice come from, and she'll yell out to, is it, how do you pronounce your name again, Jill?
Kiara.
Chiara?
Yeah.
Kiara. Okay. Kiara, is that you? Do you need help?
Yes, I do.
Why were you in the supplies? That's
Just
not for
get
you.
your ass in here.
She'll call out to Nero, come along. We need to help out Kiara.
Me?
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
No, seriously. Why not Dante? Sure Dante was around here somewhere.
Dante's not here right now. It's just you. Come on, let's go.
He's just. Oh God.
You would like me to be by myself in this perilous moment?
No, of course not. No, heavens. We should do all of this together.
Thank you. No, come on. And she just preferred to go first.
Yeah, and she kind of takes a half step and kind of like, no, you go with me.
Yeah,
no,
she's going with her,
but make me it'll be a level 3 speed check to see if you can get here without injuring yourself as the ship actually starts to turn and rock the other way while you're headed to try and go help your sister.
Okay. So we click on the speed.
Yeah.
This is where we slow down.
Oh my God, your first roll!
Yeah, I know. Okay. There's no effort to this, right?
You can put effort in if you wish. So right now you need to roll a 9 or better naturally on the die.
I'll put in 1 effort.
Which is your maximum effort because you're a first tier character.
Right.
You put in 1 effort. That is going to cost you 3 points less whatever edge you have in speed.
Okay, I have no edge in speed. So.
There you go. It's going to cost you 3 points out of your pool.
Okay.
And then it will reduce your target number to 6. So when you roll, it will take care of this. But when you roll, a 6 or better is a win.
Okay. And then, do I put anything for the cost? Just 3?
No, cost is
Okay.
for when I have assigned a pre-cost. I'm probably going to
Okay.
turn that off. Cost is for when I have assigned a cost.
Just making sure. No, right.
Yeah.
You can also use it for if you have an ability
I
that
don't think
has
so.
a cost
Mhm.
and then add effort. I've used it
Okay.
before like that. Sorry.
It's okay. We're learning. Oh, I failed.
Oh,
Failed real bad.
You,
Yes! Your
Okay,
first
let me-
roll is a GM intrusion!
Oh, I'm
Let me
so
make-
excited.
Let me bring my pool down.
You're like, I gotta prepare.
you go to take a step forward, and the deck shifts, and everything, including you, slides backwards. And Nero, who's taken a couple steps ahead of you, turns around to grab you and whiffs completely. And she's like, "Oh, Beatrice, no, you the other way." You slam into the wall where there is like a porthole, and your head pops out of the porthole. You take 2 might damage.
Ooh.
Basically from whiplash, but you look out and you see just at the rear of the ship, kind of sticking out from the stern, the point of what looks like a very large shard of green crystal that from most other angles you couldn't see on the ship, but you're actually like stuck your head out and over
It's in the ship.
unintentionally.
It's in the ship.
It's like it's gotten stuck somewhere near the rear of the ship. It's jammed inside into it.
Ooh, that's not good. Okay, all right. Okay, she'll kind of get herself out of the portal, like get back in. Probably a little blood running down her face for the smack.
Yeah.
And just kind of brush her hair off together, like it's fine, I'm good. And she'll say, okay, so there's a shard in the ship, but I'm sure everybody's taking care of it. Let's go help out Kiara.
You find yourself, Ben. Captain Castano runs up once the two of you are vertical, and him and his wheelman are. I have a name for him. Oh, I can't find it. That's why I'm like, what the hell? Where's the helmsman?
Bart Wheelman.
Bart. Giovanni.
Giovanni Wheelman.
Giovanni
I like Bart
is,
Wheelman better.
Yeah, well, maybe next time. Maybe the next ship. The captain looks at you, pulls you up, and he goes, Are you uninjured? Look, I need all hands. Look." He points at his steward. He goes, "You go below decks and tell everyone in the the passenger section, start making for London, something, get all the padding that they can, everyone in one compartment." And he starts looking at the ship, and there is a great glob of this yellow golden light that has gotten wedged on the port side of the mainmast, and it has started to drag and turn the ship slowly to port as the mast has caught all of this extra weight. And he goes to the everyone to the starboard side, I think. He looks at you and he goes, there's something wrong with the rudder or something. Can you go take a look at the rear of the ship? Anything that looks unusual, and report back to me. He just sort of stares at you as she runs off.
I can do this if you allow me to find my daughter first.
But yes, of course, you can do this.
Is that's her arm? Was her arm? That's okay. He just shuffles off. He is going to go find his daughter.
All right. You head down below decks, and start searching the hallways.
Yes, he's frantically searching it. Nero, where are you?
Make me a level 4 investigation check to see if you can find her. Now, I have a clock written on the lovely art there. You will all see. One section of this clock has been filled in. There are 6 sections before you make landfall.
Yay.
This is my pen, my freehand pen. The more things that you can get under control by the time you hit landfall, the better chance you have of this landing going better.
Sorry, what sort of check is this?
Intelligence or intellect.
What was the check itself?
You're investigating, trying to find her. So if you have an investigation skill, you may
I
use
have a
it.
perception skill.
Oh yes, you can use perception.
D&D strikes again.
Yeah, you can use perception. I'm fine with that.
All right, cool. Difficulty 4, you said?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, it didn't apply my...
Did you add effort?
I didn't.
Or it didn't add your skill?
It didn't add my skill.
Oh, because you didn't click. Sorry, you have to click the die beside the skill to get it to add your skill automatically. But since you rolled a 10, you actually pass because you only needed a 9, given that you have a skill in perception.
What's with the 10s?
Yeah, I don't know. You do hear her calling out to for Beatrice when she panics way down one of the halls. As she panics, as Beatrice gets snatched away from her and slams into the porthole. It's going to take you basically a turn of movement to get down now that you sort of located her. But you're racing down to make sure Nero is okay.
He's racing down, and he's kind of grumbling that she's with Beatrice. Because reasons. But that's okay. As long as she's safe. As long as they're safe. Beatrice can be safe too.
Up on the yardarm, in the wind. What is your... Like, you look over, and Scalwag, with knife in hand, has cut one of the ropes that's in his way quickly, jammed it back in his mouth, and now he's using that to kind of like swing across. He's done this 1,000 times. He's like putting one foot in front of the other along the yardarm to get out there as fast as possible to these 2 other people. What's Abigail's technique?
So first off, I think Abigail looks fucking cool. Up there in the wind. Just want to point that out there.
But a born buccaneer.
I think Abigail's technique is that she has grabbed a rope and found a way to tie herself down, but in a way that allows her to move through, like up the... What did you call it? A long arm?
Yard arm.
A yard arm. Okay, what is that?
It is the part of the sail that goes all the way out.
Oh, okay, that
holds the top of the sail.
Okay, then that case, you know how when you're rock climbing and you're like, you grab
the pitons?
Yeah, the pitons. That's what she's doing. She's finding a way. She's slowly pulling herself along with a piton equivalent. Yeah.
Does she have some? Would she have some tools or like a little dagger or something? Because she could do it with she has a little pocket knife or whatever. She can kind of shimmy along.
She's not. She's never unarmed, Greg. So she fully pulls out a dagger and she's slicing ropes.
Okay, so I will offer you a GM intrusion.
Okay, alrighty.
As you are making a good progress, one of the ropes you slice is holding something under your feet, and you lose grip and you fall off onto the yardarm and try and catch yourself as you fall. So you can take 2 XP for that if you want.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Absolutely. I don't have any XP to refuse, so...
Exactly. So take 2 and give 1 to someone else.
Okay.
Take 2 and pass one around.
Yep.
I'm gonna give the other one to Natalie.
Oh, that's exciting.
Got that GM intrusion, and she didn't get an XP for it.
No, that was just a failure.
Make me a level 3 speed test to catch yourself.
Okay. would you consider this a movement task?
Yeah.
Great,
Kind of
cool.
big, kind of a sudden movement to be back.
You said a level 3?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I don't want to fall off, so
Little effort
I'm gonna
here.
put in a level effort.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, you didn't need the effort. There you go. You slip and grab onto the yardarm, and kind of it slides out. You are only about 10 feet away from this shirtless brute of a man who is trying to figure out on his own how to get back his balance, because he's not holding on with his grip. He's holding on because it's wrapped 3 times around his arm. So he can't get his other arm up to get him moving. And he looks over at you and he's like, oops. He goes,
Abigail just kind of grunts.
He's like pointing. He's like, supposed to be up there. On the arm, not here beside me.
Abigail frowns harder. Okay, yeah, she is going to try and swing herself back up onto the arm.
All right, level 3 might task to haul your butt back onto the arm.
Oh.
Yeah, you slide, you grab on, and the sail billows out underneath you, and you're kind of rolling and sliding along the sail, trying to slow yourself down, but you completely miss him, and you end up at the bottom of the sail, fall off. You take 3 damage as you smack into the deck.
Okay, damn. Cool.
Just
tier 1.
Yeah. Is the sail loose?
At the bottom, yeah.
Yeah. Can she?
Go ahead.
What?
I was going to say it's come loose as part of this part of the process here. This is
Can
not the main mast.
Okay, so can she pull the sail tight enough to where it creates like a little slide for the guy to just kind of let go?
I like that. I like that a lot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably only a level 2 speed task. You would probably, so you're yelling for someone else to give you a hand because you can't hold the whole thing yourself.
Yeah.
So one of the other crew members comes over, and you're trying to tell him what the plan is, and get Buddy to cut his own rope, because obviously he has a dagger as well. Because hey, he works on the sails all day.
Why not?
Yeah. Does she speak for the first time?
Yeah. She says she's gestured, because I imagine it's really hard to talk. So she's just gesturing for the other guy to pull the sail tight. And she looks up at the guy that's dangling down, and she goes, "Jump!"
He goes, "What?" Oh, okay. All right. He starts to saw away at his rope. Make me a level 2. I think this is a might task again, because you are pulling on this sail, trying to hold it when his weight hits it. Nice. Finally, a 16. Best
Yes.
Meanwhile, Kiara and Beatrice, you meet up in the hallway. Kiara, your sister has a big gash on her forehead that she doesn't seem terribly aware of. She's tried to reposition her hair, and it is exposed a cut that is just kind of running down her cheek by her temple, like down her temple, and then down her jaw slowly.
And she kind of looks and thinks about saying something. Grab a rope. Grab a rope.
Okay. And do what with it?
Write things down.
Okay, Nero, you heard my sister. Grab a rope, tie things down.
Beatrice, do you want to survive?
Do you think I know how to tie knots?
You wear lots of corsets. Get creative.
She'll try. She'll direct Nero to go help out as well, but she will start trying to tie things down.
Yeah, Nero steps in and like slides about 3 feet on the big puddle that's in the room, and she's like, "Whoa, look at that! Okay, more sliding. Not how that's supposed to work around here. I think there's a rope." And she picks up a rope. She goes, "I have grabbed it. It is wow. These are heavy." The two of you, it is a level 4. We will call it a speed task. You can
Okay.
help one another. So help
Okay.
you can
Alright.
you can give an asset to tie
Alright.
down the rest of the cargo.
Okay. Would my use of my retinue help me out at all too?
Yeah, you are employing the
Mhm.
closest idiot that you have at hand.
Yeah. So how would that
That's an
help?
asset. You would count
Okay.
that as an asset.
All right. Okay, so just roll my speed with that asset. Okay. Can I apply? At what level did you say it was again? I'm sorry.
It's a level 4. You actually get 2 assets if
Okay.
Kiara is helping you. You get one
Am
from
I
your
allowed
retinue.
to apply an effort to it, or since I ever used
Yep.
effort? No.
You are always allowed to apply
Oh, yeah.
effort. It
As
just
long as you
drains
have
your
points to
pools.
spare.
Yep.
I've already used the one. Is it one and done?
No. So
No, no.
effort is you can apply it on any task. It's
Okay.
but you spend points out of your pool every time, your might pool or your
Oh,
speed
okay.
pool every time you apply effort. So
That
if you
makes sense.
have 1 point in your pool.
Yeah. Okay, so I have 2
I
assets.
thought you were helping her.
I am helping her.
No, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Back up. Is Kiara helping
I'm
Beatrice?
gonna help Beatrice.
All right, we'll ignore that roll.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So you start at level 4.
Okay. I think I
You can
got
put
it.
a level of effort in,
Yeah.
and then you can also add 2
Yay!
assets.
Mhm.
Yeah, effectively. So between the
Sorry,
three
I
of
thought you
you,
were asking us both to roll. I
no,
got confused.
between the 3 of you bickering, you managed to get all of the cargo in this hold tied down without anyone slipping on anything or anything else. So I will say, Lauren, for getting the gentleman off of the yardarm, that's 1 experience point. For getting the cargo tied down, that is 1 experience point. Ben, you show up just as they are shoving a box, and one of them is like basically standing on a rope as the other one tries to tie off of it. There are 3 ladies, including your daughter, in this cargo hold.
The ship is falling apart, I think.
Did you see the shard too?
No, I saw the. It was her arm,
What do you mean it was
but now
her
it isn't. It's very sad. What are you doing?
We are
are you
doing
up there?
important knots, Father.
Kiara got stuck, so we're helping her tie down cargo.
Kiara, do you need help?
Yes, please.
Would you like some help down, or would you like me to tie the knots?
Why the knots? She jumps down.
She's so tall, it's not even really a jump.
Nero, are you okay? Why are these knots so intricate?
Father, I've been practicing knots in many places, and I don't think any of them are too much worry of you right now. It's just that they will hold.
But this looks like a braid that you put in her head. I see.
Yes, it's all from hair work because Beatrice is so very picky about how we put it up these days.
We can talk about my hair later, which is important, as you should take notice. She turns to her sister.
I'm gonna turn to you and I'm gonna lean down and just your hair.
Tries to fix it, but like casually, but it's not casual.
Okay, now that you don't have to worry about that anymore, what is this shard you're talking about?
There's a shard stuck in a ship, but I'm sure everything's fine. The captain knows what he's doing,
If there is a
right?
shard stuck in the ship, there is also a blob. The the blob stuck to the ship.
There's a shard and a blob. Which end of the ship is the blob on? Because I didn't see it with the shard. So is it on the
If,
other end?
it points in the direction
Mhm.
it came from.
I mean, the blob is in the sail. It's like caught in one of the sails,
Yeah.
like a this
Oh.
giant jelly-like thing.
Mm. That's not good.
Let's go find out what's going on.
Shouldn't we remain, below deck?
Oh no!
you?
I have to. Shit. My worrying about my dogs has made me forget. What did Giovanni tell me to do?
He's like, something is interfering with the rudder. Can you go
Yes.
look
Right.
to see if anything's unusual? Mind you, she has just told you there's a big shard stuck into
Right,
the
yeah.
back end of the ship.
That's what's wrong with it. I need to get back to Giovanni. Nero, would you like to come with me or stay with your friend?
Friend.
You were speaking under the advice of the captain. Where should we be? Because you seem to be running around, Father, which is great because you are an important man. But we tend to, just not run in people's way.
You're right. Then you had best come with me.
Right. And you can
And he
see on her
just
face is
speeds
like,
off.
shit. And she's like, I'm going to follow my dad. And she runs out the door.
Bye, Nero.
I have to take the dogs downstairs because they are freaking out. I will be right back.
All right.
And she's gonna look to her sister. You're going to need to learn how to do things other than sit and socialize.
Got me very far in life. I don't know why. Other people can do things for me.
Not
should
where we're
learn that.
going.
We have people. We brought people.
Yes, and they want to survive too.
And they'll survive more, realizing it'll help me survive.
Why would that be the logic you draw?
Because it's how this works. People want what's best for them, and what's best for them usually is what's best for me.
Right, so when we're starving because nobody here knows how to grow anything, how is them giving up their food going to make you. Like, how do you make the case for that?
I mean, we're the people in charge. I know you've taken a step away, Kiara, since then, but we are an established family. If we are presentable and look confident, people follow in suit.
Sure. Right. Here's the thing. We don't have the authority where we're going anymore. Nobody has a reason to follow us, to believe us.
I mean, outside of the whole arm thing conversation, there's a goddess giving us guidance.
But not a throne.
Oh, nobody needs a throne to be in charge. That's old. I'm novel.
Look, we need to get to the surface of the planet, and I intend to get there intact. And
I do agree with that.
good. Then, if you would like to increase those odds, find a way to focus on something other than your vanity. Don't just send your girlfriends to go do the work for you. That is going to prove that you are dead weight.
Managing is a very useful skill. Directing people to do what their best assets are for is a very useful skill.
Right. And if you lead from behind, you're just going to be abandoned.
Well, if you would like to lead in front.
Let's see how your not work is doing. And yeah, just gonna go and get her to scare another one. It's like, okay, well, we got to start somewhere.
You hear as you guys sort of start. You realize that there is another hold on the other side of a door. You start to like get into it because you kind of got this one locked down. You start to look at all of the barrels of the various liquids and things that are brought along. You hear a big cracking noise on somewhere above you. Something has taken a significant amount of damage and somehow given way. I filled another.
Upstairs.
Does she want to go upstairs? Does she suggest going upstairs?
Yeah.
All right,
She looks to her sister and is like, see?
let's go.
All right. Abigail, you watch as the mizzenmast, which is the one behind the main mast. Sorry, the foremast. You're on the mizzenmast. There's three masts to the ship. Main, one behind, one in front. The foremast. Something hits it and it twists hard all of the sails, and all of a sudden you hear this cracking noise and it starts to fall down across part of the deck. And there are a bunch of people sort of standing underneath it, a couple of what look like family members, a couple of crew members. Yeah, what do you do?
Move! And
People are like,
Abigail
"Ah!"
will start running towards them.
All right. That's probably a level 2 speed task to cover as much room on the deck as possible in the shortest possible time.
Oh! Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Woohoo!
As I'm running, do I see the scalwag?
Yes, Scalwag is like dusting off the two people who were up on his side of the yardarm. He got them down. Ben, first natural 20 of the campaign. Also, the foremast has cracked and is about to fall on some people. That would be pretty much as you come up from below decks. There is sail and a horrible cracking noise. And Nero, you see, I would say, Abigail, Nero, and Kaiser pop out of a deck. Man, I can't remember what the frickin' thing is called. A hatch. They pop out of a hatchway just as this mast is starting to come down in their direction. So with your nat 20, how would you like to save them?
I run to the hatch and then I push him. How do I want to do this? Okay, so I run to the hatch and then I'm not even like fully explaining it. I just fully push who's ever coming up first down and then close the hatch.
we raise up, seeing this person. We need to get to the. Oh.
Yeah, you are like, so you go down the hatch with them, right? Because you need to get out of the way as well. Is that the plan? Yeah. So the hatch pops open and then someone jumps on you and then pulls the hatch down. You hear the thud of something on top of the hatch. You try and pop it, and whatever's on top has jammed it shut. You have to find another way up. You are very entangled with Kaiser all of a sudden.
This is the second time something like this has happened today, and I don't like it.
What do you get up to?
A lot. War flashbacks of shit his family.
Abigail detangles herself from Kaiser.
Are you okay? Tries to like straighten himself up.
Abigail just kind of dusts herself off.
Nero looks at her and you, and she goes, "Dad, it's Abigail. You can't hurt Abigail. Look at her."
Well, no, I couldn't hurt Abigail, but the ship could. It's big. It's big and broken. We need to find. I forget Giovanni's
Giovanni.
rank.
The helmsman.
Yeah, we need to find the helmsman. The ship. It's very obviously breaking. There is a big. He looks at Beatrice, just down the corner of his nose, the tip of his nose.
Oh, Beatrice didn't come with you.
Oh,
Beatrice
didn't
is
come with-
still
okay.
under. No,
No.
just Nero and.
Your friend said there is a shard in the ship.
Yeah, she wasn't really specific about the shard of what.
Well, that's okay. It's a shard. That's. I mean. What?
I imagine it was the shard of the god.
Oh no, that's the blob.
Okay.
But we need to find the helmsman Giovanni to let him know that it's not great back there.
Do you know where he is?
Actually, I do.
So
Greg,
whoever
may I have
would
a
like.
premonition?
Sure. A premonition.
Ooh.
Oh.
One random fact about a creature or location.
Oh,
that
it's
is pertinent to
random.
a topic.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Um,
Fuck it, give it to me. What would it be?
Beatrice's favorite food is strawberries.
Yeah, what random fact about Giovanni do I make up at this given moment?
He's like, actually, I do know where he is.
That's
And then whatever factoid.
Yeah, Giovanni was. Giovanni doesn't really like Captain Castano. That's the fun fact.
Stroking his beard, and then he's like, wouldn't be with the captain. Or maybe he would. I don't know.
Abigail just gives him this look.
So you can make an investigation check to find the fastest way to the to another hatch that would get you close to the helm. Anybody can make it and then get an assist from someone else. I don't know if anyone has navigation as a skill. The wrong person has navigation as a skill, who is currently making her way a different way from below decks.
I have a skill in following and identifying tracks. That's about it.
Yeah, there's no tracks here. not that kind of navigation.
I do have intellect edge, so if I wanted to apply effort to this, it might make it
It'll be a little cheaper.
So,
Cost you one less point.
do you want to help me make this check?
We'll
Yeah,
make it a
Abigail can help you.
level 3 check.
Level 3.
Intellect.
Fuck it, I haven't spent any effort.
So you can only spend one level of effort, regardless.
So, level 3. Effort. One level of effort.
Nice.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah, Kaiser, Nero, and Abigail snake their way through to the other side of the ship and pop out in a porthole that's astern of the, or pop out of a hatch that's astern of the one that was. There are a bunch of people cutting their way and crawling their way out of the sail that has come down. It's quite a large thing. Nobody was expecting this sort of to be happening. And then you see popping out of the hatch on the, like you come out the starboard side, on the port side are Chiara and Beatrice. Oh, Nero goes, "Oh, hi. We had to go twice because there was a thing that fell on us. But not all the way because we're in good shape."
What was that? The cracking sound? Is that what fell?
Yeah, that's the a young man pops up and you see him. You see a hand reach out, Beatrice, for yours past Chiara to like help you out of the hatchway, and it's Dante, your bodyguard, and he goes, It's
Wonderful to see you.
I asked the other day. It's called the foremast.
The foremast? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
there are only 3 of them, but apparently they can't count in sailor language.
All right. So now there's only 2 of them, though, is what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know which one is the 3-mast, and he
Okay.
pulls you out and up onto the deck in one
Ah.
fluid motion.
Oh, thank you, Dante. I do appreciate it.
He looks at Kiara. He goes, "How are you doing?"
He's
wanna
very
talk
good at
about
helping
it.
people up.
Kiara's
Oh, yes,
already,
sorry.
pushed herself up.
Yeah, the moment has passed.
So the ship, it's okay. We
The
know
ship
somebody is.
now about 30 degrees off axis, kind of skating through the astral sea as the planet looms larger.
Yeah.
I don't think so, no.
Well, then let's not sit around talking about it. Let's find out what needs to be fixed so we don't die a horrible death.
Abigail, you would see Scalwag is trying to line up all of the other top men that he has left and trying to get them organized to figure out what to do with the sails. But he's having trouble because people keep running by, and then like passengers keep popping up, and he's trying to herd cats at the moment, but he seems to have an idea of what he wants to do.
Okay.
And Kaiser, you see Giovanni at the helm literally fighting with the wheel to try and get it to do something, and having no luck with it. And Constano is barking orders over the railing on I think it's called the poop deck. Basically, he's looking down on everybody, and he's trying to do the same thing. But not a lot of people are inclined to listen to him in this weird panic of a kind of a slow motion shipwreck that has never happened before.
Abigail will look at Beatrice and say, "You like telling people what to do."
I do.
And she gestures to the group of people that keep interfering with Scalwag's operations. They look like a group of people who need to be told what to do.
All right. Okay, everybody over there, please, let's follow the directions Mr. Scalwag has been providing. I don't think running around with chickens without heads is very helpful.
Make me a persuasion check if you have such a skill.
I
Level
do, I
3.
believe.
Sorry, I just had there's no way she's ever seen a chicken without its head.
Okay.
Unless it was cooked on a
There's
plate.
no way.
I've heard it's cooked.
I like how what if she said it wrong? She's like, "Don't run around with your like a chicken with your heads on."
Mhm. Okay, with my privileged nobility, I'm trained in persuasion. How do I roll
It's
persuasion?
something Papa used to
Oh.
say.
So I should have put persuasion in your skills
Um,
on the top left section right below your pools. Do you have
I don't see
persuasion
it.
under there?
No,
Did
it's
I
not
not?
on
I
there.
thought it. Hang on, let me look. Why did I not put persuasion? Let's look at character sheet.
It just was something with my privileged nobility.
Why did that? Oh, in addition, I missed the in addition you're trained in
Yeah.
persuasion. Let me add it.
It's all under there.
Usually it's like at the very end of a thing, they don't
Yeah.
add another thing. Persuasion. Oh, what? Intellect. But stop clicking things.
Oh, sorry.
Stop touching things.
Okay, now
No
if you click
touchy.
if you click the die beside persuasion,
Ah,
it will automatically add your one level
Mhm.
of advantage from or one level of training.
okay. And what level was it again? I'm so sorry.
3.
3.
These are family members who know you,
Okay.
and various and a couple of were servants or something
Would this
else.
be like my intellect I would use for this?
Yes.
Typically.
Okay.
It will automatically
can-
use intellect because I have set it as persuasion with an I
Right.
on the right-hand side, so it'll automatically do it.
All right. Okay. And then I have an edge in intellect, so I could use that.
So if you use effort, it will reduce the cost of the effort that you use by 1.
Okay.
If you don't use effort, it makes no difference.
I'm using effort just because my
All right.
rolls have not been good so far. And we shall use the edge. And then it won't cost me anything. So, yay!
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you would normally spend 3 points for that level of effort. You have edge, so you subtract 1, so you only spend 2 points out of your intellect. Cool.
Yay.
Oh, you didn't have to roll.
Yeah, you made it a 0.
I did?
Yeah.
Oopsies.
No, it's good. You made it automatic. So
Okay.
you can roll automatic checks because a nat 20 would get you an extra benefit, but you could roll a nat 1 and end up with a GM intrusion.
Okay, so it's fun to
So-
do it either way. Yes.
Yeah. Some people, we generally don't roll them because it's quicker if you're rolling a lot of checks, but feel free to roll it. You just let me know it's automatic
Okay.
before I
Mhm.
I roll it. Cool. Yeah, so a bunch of these people are like, oh, what? And Scalwag is like, I said, if you don't work here, get your ass below deck. They're like, oh, our ass is below. How are you even qualified to talk to us that way?
I'm qualified, and yes, I am. So please go below deck.
You get a bunch of looks. Someone has cut a square in the sail and reopened the hatch after they've moved the part of the heavy yardarm off of the hatch, and everyone's like, "Oh, I guess so." You see, Beatrice said that we're qualified to go below decks. Everyone starts to
Robot?
file
Yes.
down. What is Kaiser doing?
Fussing over Nero. But he is doing so trying to get Giovanni's attention. It's like, so when your friend says it's a shard, what kind of a shard is it? Is it big? Is it dangerous? Is it when it's stuck in the ship? Hello, Giovanni. There is a shard of something stuck in at the back of the ship.
He looks. He goes, Captain. Castano turns around and goes, "What do you want?" What I'm trying to handle the problem with the sail. He goes, "There's something stuck into the ship. I don't know what shard. I am told. Can we send? We got to go take a look. If it's on the rudder, we're screwed." Captain looks at you and Nero, and he looks at the people milling about that. Well, now that everybody's vacated the deck, basically, except for the crew, who are trying to, like, Scalwag is now trying to think of a plan for how do you get a giant glob of sunlight out of the sail, which you can help him with. It's basically just a bunch of you, and Captain Castano goes, "Come with me. We'll go find out what the hell is going on at the rudder." And he beckons Nero. I think he probably sees Kiara kind of just at the moment contemplating what to do, and he's like, "You two." He's like, "Well, you can help." And he gets Kaiser and Kiara to go with him, and Nero obviously just tags along because that's where it's at.
As we're walking along, I'm curious where the globule is. Has any of it like splattered off?
Thick, like very large globules kind of have just barely spilled over the edge, but they seem to get carried away on the astral sea mostly. If you're looking down at the deck is peppered with these little green, it almost looks like someone shattered up like a glass vase made of emerald or green glass, and they're kind of stuck in a bunch of different places as you're walking along.
Kaiser's going to touch one of them.
There are dark green and bright green ones. Like glowing and not.
If it is still glowing, he'll grab a shiny one.
All right.
He will attempt to absorb some energy from it.
Ooh.
Indeed, as you pick this up, um, any kind of powered machine or device. Yeah, roll 1d10.
Nice.
There is another effect, though. Well, not an effect so much. You grasp the green shard in your bare hand, knowing that this is the best way to pull the energy from it. And you feel the rush of purpose in the moonlight, born of the sun, transformed by an emerald god. Desire, freedom, passion. The sense of purpose flows through you for a brief moment. Accomplishment, initiative. The magic wants you to make your dreams come true, to clear away any obstacle in your path, to achieve whatever your greatest self can be. It is validated by making it yours, channeling all of your desires through it. If you could take it all in, the rest of the world could not even dream of getting in your way. And as quick as that feeling comes to you, as you absorb the energy and it goes dark, it fades. You take another breath. You arrive at the rear deck of the ship, again having burned some time as these things are going on. Planet looming ever larger, and as you go down a deck into a rear, like a bilge area, with a bunch of old ship's tools and equipment, he pops out an old plank in a porthole, and you see the only thing you can see out of this port side, a gap in the ship, is a giant green gleaming crystal that is wedged in the back of the ship, right pressed up against the rudder. And you can see the rudder moving and almost like slamming into it as the helmsman keeps trying to steer to port, and the rudder won't move past a certain point. It does not appear to be loosening the shard at all. It's too large for you to like grab onto here. It's like it's big around as a tree. And the captain looks and he goes, that's not really good. Shit. We got to get it. We got to get it out of here. Why? Rope. We need rope, I think. Or we need a wedge. No, rope. And he looks at you guys like as if you would be holding a big coil of rope or a shovel in your hands, which you are absolutely not.
If only.
If I hear that, I'm gonna go back and look for some rope. Because
All
I
right.
saw a bunch getting, tied down. I'll look around this room first, though, or this area.
Yeah, roll me just a level 2 investigation check, because this is like an
Alrighty.
old store tool room kind of thing.
Level 2.
When he's talking about a wedge or something, you look and there's an old spade, like a shovel with just the handle has been broken off of the very end of the handle, but the rest of it is still intact,
Okay.
possibly for shoveling dirt or wood or something. And you're like, that could work. You also spot an axe hanging behind some other pieces of equipment, and you're like, well, I mean, I don't know. If you get in the right spot.
I'm gonna grab the axe and the spade, and I'm gonna toss him the axe.
And he's like looking at it, and he goes, all right, good. We need to get in a spot. It's a horrible spot. And he's like, maybe from over the top we can get someone down.
I'm good at climbing.
Yeah, do you volunteer?
I do.
He like practically grabs your arm and rushes off to the end. Meanwhile, on the deck, to the back end of the ship. Meanwhile, on the deck, Scalwag looks at you, and he goes, Abigail. Well, he looks at both of you because both of you have sort of taken some interest in the situation, and he goes, "You can raise the yardarm and pull the sail up and keep it intact, which is going to take a lot of strength with that big, I don't know what globule in it. Or we can cut the sail, which will solve the problem temporarily." And he looks at the rear mast and he's like, and there might be enough in the rear mast to straighten this thing back around.
And he's saying this to Abigail, and who else is here?
Beatrice.
Okay.
And he's got like 5 or 6 people, but he's going to need either someone to basically take the fall for damaging the ship if it comes up in the future, or put their back into it and it's going to be a level 5 task to get the sail up.
Okay.
Woo!
With the globs, Abigail is going to. Is there like a big one? Like anything? Like
it's the glob. It's basically
no. Sorry,
giant, big.
The stuff on the deck. Like what Kaiser touched.
They're all shards. Like the peppered green shards.
How easy are they?
There are some larger ones. You look around.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a larger one and see how easy it is to break it.
It is very difficult to break.
Okay.
Are you grabbing a green one or like a bright shining one, or are you grabbing one that looks like the light has been snuffed out already?
Oh, since we already know what a shiny one does, let's see what a dark one does.
The dark one does not have any effect. It appears to be you think it's glass because of how it's been shattered, but when you pick it up, it's much more stone than anything else. But it is much like when you chip a piece of shale, or a piece of flint, like chert. It is super sharp on the edges. Like as soon as you feel it, you're like, oh, okay, don't grab that too tight from the wrong way, or I'm just going to have blood everywhere, and that's bad.
Okay. She looks at Scalwag. Knowing this, she's like, what is the likelihood of being able to blow this up? And she gestures to the glob.
Is it flammable?
He goes, I really have no idea what it is. I don't think it, if anything, it is fire. I don't think it catches fire. You can feel warmth emanating from it, not like scorch you to death warmth, but this sort of constant, gentle, like embers in a fire coming off of it.
So you don't have anything on the ship that makes a big boom that could dislodge it for us?
Sorry. Not that I can get my hands on in the next. And he looks up at the at the very large planet that has now filled most of your field of view in one direction. He goes, 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
Where's Kaiser during all of this? Where would he be?
Kaiser would have been in that storeroom with Beatrice.
Gotcha.
But he could have followed him and the captain out, because you guys would appear on the deck at some point during this conversation.
Right. I guess after the interaction with the green shard, and seeing Abigail and Scalwag kind of like, what the fuck do we do here? He hears Abigail say, "You ain't got anything that makes a big boom." He's like, "I could make a boom."
Abigail turns
it's not very
to
big.
look at him.
I've been known to make waves.
Nero looks at you and goes, socially, Dad.
Well, you see, and he kind of like toys with the shard in his hand, being very careful not to cut himself, but fails.
But ow. Okay, it's fine.
Careful. They're sharp.
I can do this. I just need that, and he points at the big one she's carrying.
She hands it over.
Oh no, it's a dark one. You need the glowy one.
Why? What's the difference?
Kind of puts his hand on the big dark one. Probably not getting much feeling from it.
No, nothing.
It doesn't have. It doesn't have this stuff. This one's no good.
Abigail
It
frowns
doesn't make me
because
feel
she's
good
always
about
frowning.
myself.
Beatrice, I would say that make me just a straight intellect check at what he's trying to describe. No effort.
Okay.
The better you do,
Mhm.
the more information you'll get.
Okay.
You have no idea what he's talking about. I'm not. You get distracted by something flying by the ship. You're like, whoa, what's that? Wander over to the railing.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay, you look strong. I don't think you could break it with your hands.
Is he talking to Abigail?
Yes.
No. Okay, so you need a big glowy one?
Yes. And if you can throw it toward the glob, I'll make the boom.
Okay, and she looks at Scalwag and she says, "You have any other ideas?"
Doesn't even try and help him out. It's just like, he goes, frankly, we're running out of time. I think we got the sale.
You're trying to light it on fire? Is that the plan?
Oh no, it's like
While he's trying to explain it, Abigail is going to go find one of the glowy shards.
Oh,
all right.
You know when a Kiara gets too mad?
Yes.
And you can feel it?
Yes.
It's like that.
Oh god.
That
It's
doesn't
like all the
help.
time.
Investigation level 2 for Abigail to find a large shard.
Intellect?
Yep.
Okay, we'll put some effort. Because I kind of want to see what this does.
Success. Yeah, you grasp this. It's sort of underneath part of the sail that was all moved around, and you spot it glowing through the sail, and you slide it out, and you feel a sense of determination, but not someone else's desire, a magnification of your own desire. That if you could pull this thing into you, or if you could manipulate this power that's in your hands, you could make your dreams come true. You could achieve things. You could make your will real.
If anybody is paying attention, Abigail looks startled, which is a very different expression that anybody has ever seen on her face. And she, it's like I owe him for your ego. And she very quickly takes the shard, grips it in her hand, and throws it at the glob.
Oh, you're doing it now!
Doing what? He just threw something.
Kaiser is going to release his kinetic energy in an attempt to make the boom.
Cool. 1 point of energy you absorb from absorb kinetic. Make a focus of blast of energy strikes for 4 points of damage. You don't have any kinetic damage to absorb. All right. I'm going to leave this. To 4 points of damage. 4 points of damage isn't going to do it, but I'm trying to think of an appropriate cost for this to make it tempting. Do. You realize that so much is, or Kaiser realizes so much is riding on this. He will put maximum effort in it. You will succeed at the cost of going 1 step down the damage track.
Oh.
And I will give you I'll give you an XP for all of that because it's geometry.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So
Who do you give the other
Here's-
XP to?
yeah.
Beatrice is like, I'll take it.
No. I meant to point to
Mm.
Joe. I meant to point to Joe.
Oh,
Okay.
See, on mine, you just pointed to Ben, and it was funny.
see, on mine you pointed to me.
I think I'll give it to. Yeah, I'll give it to Abigail for being such a good sport.
Nice.
So Ben,
I will take it.
as Kaiser, in a little panic, sees the thing going into the blob, and knowing it's got stored up energy inside it, plus the energy he has somehow stored in himself. That sense, you want this to happen, and the desire for things is so strong when you have this green light inside of you, and you all see. Who are looking at him. If you're not looking up at the actual thing that you're throwing, you see his eyes flash green for a moment, and his hand reaches out, and there is nothing between him and the shard, except that the shard flickers even brighter for a second as it contacts and bursts outward in this shockwave. And then it is like his arm has touched a hot plate and it snaps back. And you feel that shock pass right back through your body because you have reached so far into an energy source you don't understand. You were just doing it by feel and instinct. And it has the power to push back where you push out. But you watch as the globule flattens and starts to spill over the sides and top of this sail. And as that happens, Scalwag calls for everyone to pull the yardarm tight to take all of the tension out of the sail to try and flatten it out as much as possible in this moment of opportunity. And everything starts to spill out and over. You already got an XP for that, so I would normally give you another XP for accomplishing that, but you already scored a bunch. Meanwhile, Kiara, we will skip a little bit. You are dangling over the side of the ship with Dante, the captain, and someone else hanging, and he's like, you just need to wedge it and push it over. Just get it out there, whatever it takes. I don't care if you put chips in the ship or the boards. It's got to go. It's blocking the rudder. I know you're not a.
I can see when there's something blocking something else. It's fine. Okay.
Swinging back and forth, trying to brace yourself. If you would like to make this a climbing check, level 3 climbing check to get down into position, because it is the thing you're good at.
Lovely. Okay. And it was level 3?
Yep.
Okay. And asset on that. Woo!
Yay.
You got a nosebleed. It's like you're actually embodying the character, Natalie.
I know.
Quick, bludgeon yourself in the forehead. You'll be
All right,
twins.
give me 1 second.
Whoa. Louis like, what are you
Say
doing?
less.
Success. You see this thing that is wedged deep within the wood, but at the same time, the great amount of its weight should be getting buffeted by the winds of the astral sea. So you take what do we have? A pick and a shovel?
We have an axe and a shovel.
Or an axe or shovel. He hands you the axe as you go down. He's like, this is probably best. And you just start to hack away at the base of this, avoiding the rudder itself, not worrying at all about the condition of the tail end of the ship. And so I'm going to make this, your last check for this is a might check, level 3, to try and get enough of this out of the way, hacking away. How many might points you got left?
I'm doing okay. However, I have a question, because I have no need for weapons, so I can punch and kick like a medium weapon.
Just gonna kick it? Just gonna say fuck it?
Yeah, I just want to kick it really hard.
It's the
Come
mom
down.
he's got.
Beautiful.
You take the axe, you slam it into the wood to brace yourself as a handhold, and then you just start kicking because kicking's better.
It's so much more control this way. This way, it's going exactly where the pressure needs to be. Beautiful.
Imagine getting whooped by her.
So you know what's funny?
Go ahead.
Abigail took it too. Imagine getting whooped by both of them.
Oh shit!
Out here throwing punches.
Yes.
Kicks.
Somewhere in the meta universe, there's somebody who's written a story about that.
Okay. Sorry. And it was a might task of what?
3, I believe I said.
3. Okay. Okay. Then I would like to put in a level of effort and make that automatic.
Very nice. You give it the kicking of your life, knowing that your life probably depends on how hard you're kicking this.
I picture my sister's face as I do this. Like, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you.
Not just me. You hear her voice in your head.
As you finally get it to move, and a bunch of chunks of wood and splinters come off, and this thing flips out and flies away. I will offer you a GM intrusion as they suddenly haul you back up, and you aren't expecting it. They yank you, trying to get you back up on the deck because things are rapidly going downhill with the proximity. You take 3 damage from your very rough ride up and
Ooh, okay.
your head contact. Yeah. I really wanted to beat you up in the first session.
All right, I'm still standing.
You get up, and as you see, you have solved the 2 major problems that you had, as well as some of the minor problems. And the ship's crew and the captain all start barking instructions now that the helmsman has righted the ship and gotten it square again to the planet and begun to do some approximation of an actual landing as opposed to the absolute disaster that you were headed for prior to your involvement. The ship's long plunge through the atmosphere, somehow barely under the control of the helmsman, is so much more rapid than your ascent weeks ago that you know something is surely going to give when you make landfall. Only one of the 3 sails is up, and Scalwag and the remaining top men have now struggled to bring it in, as the collapsed foremast is refusing to budge out of the way, and part of it is sitting on the one working sail. As the icy landscape looms ever larger below, Captain Castano makes the call and orders everyone inside, save himself and Giovanni at the wheel. At last glance, your destination shows lakes, rivers, dark forest, mountains, icy white hills lit up in the glow of Desimata's initial touch. Crews slide down rigging, and one misses the landing on the yardarm and is carried off into the emptiness of the astral sea without even so much as an audible scream. Everyone crowds inside, and blankets and mattresses are thrown against the forward walls as the crew yell at everyone who can hear to tuck their heads and brace for impact. And then, as everyone is in position, the crew goes quiet, and only the thundering of the wind and the snapping of the sail is audible. The last thing you hear before impact is the captain's voice from the distant quarterdeck calling, "Brace, brace, brace, you bastards!" And then you feel your whole selves crushed on impact, hitting the front of wall like a mosquito struck by an angry hand. And all the air is forced from your lungs in an instant, and the back of your skull feels like it's in the front of your nose. A great rumbling continues for some interminable seconds, the long keel of the Ibis dragging along the hard surface of Aurora in an entirely inelegant landing. A couple of hard strikes rock the ship back, and then forth again as some of the terrain argues with the progress of the ship, and then she finally comes to rest. The brief silence replaced almost immediately by moans and the heavy panting of a few dozen people in great pain. You emerge onto the deck to find the ship upright, at least from topside, in one piece. A great streak of glowing gold spotted with tiny green lights lies behind it, very gradually fading as it melts into the snow and mud behind you. I think that's a great spot to take a break.
Woo!
Hell yeah.
Indeed.
Welcome to Aurora.
Yo, that's fucking awesome.
Whoa, this was fun.
I'll be right
Absolutely.
This
back.
was like truly a hot start.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man, we got Ben's character going boom. Jeez.
Boom, boom.
Mhm.
It was a boom. It was a boom.
It was a boom.
He's like, I don't know what it is. It's a boom. What the hell, man?
Boom. Mhm. The deck.
I do
All
love
right.
it. In social circles, Dad.
True. I'll be back.
First quote of the session. It was a boom.
Hello.
Hello. See the new map?
Ooh. And yes, I do.
I love Cypher.
Pretty good system.
That scene does not work in D&D. None of that works.
No. Been a wonderful time thus far. Really needed this after this week.
Yeah. For
I
the
needed this
slog.
regardless. But yeah, this week kind of sucked. Today I didn't even know if I was gonna make it home with enough time to like get ready. I guess like to be able to like decompress a bit and then get ready for this. So I get there at 8:30. I'm supposed to work 8:30 to 5. My manager is there, and there's supposed to be one other person there at 8:30. He doesn't show up till 9:30. Don't know why. Doesn't explain, doesn't say anything. She just shows up at 9:30. So we're busy, pretty steady in the morning, and then suddenly we have 16 people signed in online. 11 o'clock rolls around. My other coworker comes in. She's here for 45 minutes, and then leaves. Just says I can't do this today. Like, oh, all right. I mean, I get it, but also, great. Then the coworker who showed up at 9:30 informs the manager that, well, she has to leave at 2. Her family's flying out to New York at 3 o'clock. And I'm like, well, you're scheduled till 5. And like suddenly your family's like, oh, we got to leave. We got to go to New York at 3 o'clock. And she's like, oh, no, it's not sudden. We've been we've been planning to go to New York and then fly to Jamaica. And I'm like, doesn't make any more sense.
Yeah. I feel like you could have seen this coming then and worked around it.
So 2 other coworkers come in. We are slammed. I did 35 people today.
Jeez.
From 8:30 to 5. So what is that? Not 9 hours? nine and a half,
4 people per hour?
about 4 haircuts an hour. Steadily. And that's pretty busy. That doesn't include like all the beard trims that I did and the shampoos and stuff. It was pretty damn busy. And I feel so bad because one of my coworkers is in Spain for 2 months doing like a study abroad thing. So we're down to having only 2 closers every night again until mid-July. And I'm like, I'm sorry. If this was literally any other night, I would be able to stay and help you guys close.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Thank you for changing things for us. Making sure you showed up. It's beautiful.
Hey, if I'm not here, something's wrong.
You and Kevin do be like that.
I try to be punctual and present.
I love it.
I have to go tomorrow to a friend's house to color her hair for her wedding.
And magic bag.
It's my magic Walmart bag. So we're doing violet, dark violet, royal purple, flamenco fuchsia,
Being a theme.
and admiral navy.
Ooh. My wife had something one time. Like she did it 2 or 3 times, really wild colors, and that was one of them.
Navy.
My brother-in-law's girlfriend, long-term girlfriend, is a stylist, had her own salon,
Oh,
like,
okay,
in the
yeah.
house. And she's really, really good with color. Like, did never damage my wife's hair, not once in any way, and got the color right. But it was always, "Hey, if you're up for it, I have color left in these. Like, I don't have any use for it because I can't do somebody's whole head in one color now.
Right.
But if you want, I'll do something and I'll make
Oh,
it
yeah.
wild." My mother-in-law got so like she is so tight and anal. She was just so offended that my wife's hair was blue, purple, and green. I'm like, chill out, lady.
Yeah, it's just hair.
It'll grow
That's
back.
cool.
Yeah. But it looked fantastic. But I think she would still go, except she was so like talky and social that my wife and daughter would go and they would be 8 hours to wash, cut, and color both of their
Yeah.
hair. And it's like,
That's a whole day.
yeah, that's a whole day. And my
You're not even
wife
getting
now,
paid for it.
my wife doesn't have well, they'd still pay for the supplies. They wouldn't pay her like for
Yeah,
her
yeah.
labor, but they'd reimburse her for the supplies.
Yeah, of
So it would
course.
still be like $100 by the time it was done. But my wife can't do 8 hours of anything
Right.
anymore. And she just doesn't understand it. Like I'll be honest, she's an American, and I mean that in the worst possible way, where she's just on broadcast all the time and not really sensitive to anything that's going on around her.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine sitting in someone's chair for 8 hours and not getting like the only thing you're getting is what you're there for.
Nat's back, less blood and everything.
Yes.
Well, welcome to Cypher System.
Yeah. Rec. Ibis. Ibis.
Ibis,
Ibis.
the
I
bird.
tried.
The
Ooh.
ibis, the
That's what the
cormorant, and
moon
the
looks
storm
like?
petrel.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I tried to take Louis out and it was raining so hard, even he was like, he stopped going down the stairs. He's like, nope.
Yeah. Stella will do that once in a while. She'll be like, hey.
Stop. Stop.
She's like, hey, let's be honest here.
You're wet, please. No.
Oh yeah, I didn't give you Captain Cassano's art.
Yes.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that is a sick outfit.
That looks
Isn't
cool
it,
as
though?
hell.
Okay, I need to style copy this shit.
I've generally put Art Deco poster style heavy outlines, but it does vary a lot in what I get out of this.
Oh, I'm just gonna use them as style refs.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Ooh. It was with an A.
It is the woman who had a very unfortunate first encounter with our good friend Kaiser.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yellow. Got some more art going up.
Oh. So much art.
How's everybody's pools doing?
Okay.
Being single digits in all three yet? It's usually a bad sign.
Not
Yep.
yet.
I mean, considering I'm down on the damage track, but mine are okay.
Everything Ben does now is hindered by one level
It's hindered by one, yeah.
until he. Well, I mean, you can all take. None of you have taken a recovery roll yet, so
That's true.
Greg, I really appreciated that the first thing my character did was climb up a mast while while free falling to the surface of a planet. Just really set the tone, I feel like.
hardcore woman.
I don't know why Midjourney keeps generating this pose, but I kind of love it.
What pose? That is dope as hell. Oh my god, that is
okay.
dope.
A little over the shoulder. I see the green shards floating about.
Oh yeah.
So you know who he kind of looks like? Thorin in The Hobbit.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Thorin Oakenshield.
Mhm.
Also, I love how absolutely useless Beatrice is, and I like how
Yes.
she's okay with that. I love she's okay with
Useless.
that.
I direct others. It's useful. Look, no, the funniest part of this to me was like, she is a noble woman through and through and is about to be just straight up having to like rough it. It's gonna be great.
A fish out of water for sure.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
Out of the water and into the icebox.
I know.
Mm.
It's a bit chilly. We didn't prepare for this. Is that snow?
That was fine. Keep it up with my notes.
Trying to do a whole host of new voices at once is not, I'll be honest, not my favorite thing to try and do. Like, oh, they're all starting to sound the same again. Shit. Okay. Reset.
Please disregard what was put in the chat. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yar. I don't know what
Yar. I have no idea.
I ain't got no idea.
I love Abigail, by the way. Oh,
Thank
iconic.
you.
Yeah. I really enjoy the fact that both Abigail and Kiara are get shit done women who go about things in such different but pragmatic ways.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that makes sense. That also makes sense. That one's gonna make you feel bad about it.
Why choose the option of either letting the sail or trying to lift the glob off the sail when you could just blow it up, you know?
You just blow it up.
Yep.
Make the
Sorry
boat.
about the delay. My cat got
He's
stuck in a
back.
tree.
Well, if he's unstuck, then we're good.
He be unstuck. He's fine. Poor thing was getting taunted by the squirrels, though.
Aww.
It was funny, but poor cat.
Uh-oh. Hang on.
Oh no.
Somebody say something.
Hello.
Dumb.
I'm here.
Hello.
I think there's an audio-video desync for Joe.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Really?
Oh, she
What?
seems fine to
What?
me.
Yeah,
Hang
she's
on.
fine to me.
Hi, Ben. Hi, Ben.
Greetings
Hello.
and salutations. Welcome
Hello,
to
Ben.
Testing,
Movie
testing.
Song.
Press 5.
Oh, that's
Beep.
I don't know what to say next.
I
Help
got
me,
your.
I'm being held here.
There's your boy who was hanging from the yard arm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I gotta see him. Damn it. He's rugged, but I thought he would be younger.
He's not my boy. He's my boss.
He's Maba.
Whoa.
Yeah. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Da, 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 da,
Do this.
da.
We're on a new planet, y'all.
Let's do it.
Lucius, the Flamen Salvanus, emerges from the inner wreckage and scans for all of the injured and the dead. His normally light and friendly manner and gentle smile has been usurped by a series of worried glances and a jaw that has gone slack. Nevertheless, he keeps moving, and when he spots Captain Constano breathing erratically, having been on the deck the entire time, he kneels down next to him and pulls out his sacred tuning fork and taps it on his knee. As he begins to sing out the matching note that would invoke the power of the Amboli to heal, he realizes his error. Magic here depends on something else entirely. Light is life.
Oh.
He calls out, the Sonic capsules. Has anybody seen them? Any of them, it's a matter of a life and a death. It is an investigation task level 4 to try and find these capsules that he is talking about.
Is that just like a straight intellect check?
If you do not have the investigation skill, yes, it is an intellect check.
Okay.
Oh, you all, of course, have had a moment or two. You could take an action recovery roll if you needed one before this begins.
I'll take one.
What does it take to get me back to Hale?
Any points back in the pool, or any points restored to your pools will get you back to Hale.
Okay.
Sorry, if you've just been impaired and knocked down, but you have points in all your pools, the first recovery roll will get you back to Hale, but you don't restore any points.
Gotcha.
It just moves you back up the damage track. If you would like to heal Natalie, you can just roll on the recovery roll. It will give you a 1d6 plus 1.
I would like that because my speed is pretty dang low.
If I'm able to use my training in perception to try to figure out where these are,
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to attempt to do so, and I will apply some
points.
effort. Difficulty 4, you said?
Due to, yes. Success for
Roll.
Kaiser.
Can I add edge to this because I have that?
You don't add edge. You can spend effort,
Yeah.
and if you have an edge, your effort will cost you 1 less. So instead of costing you 3, it will cost you 2 points
I will
to add
do
that first level effort.
that. Oh wait.
Don't worry, you'll get the terms by a couple of sessions in.
Yeah, sorry.
Edge is a very weird term.
Okay, 1 effort, and then I guess 1 asset then to that. Then if I'm using my edge,
No.
so that
You
will
just-
cost me 1.
Yeah, when you go to pay the price at the end,
Mhm.
your edge will just reduce the cost by 1.
Yay!
Success. 3 of you succeed on this, so I will say you do it extremely quickly, which is good for the captain because the captain is doing not well at all, having been thrown across the deck. You get the sense that Lucius needs these as fast as possible. With all 3 of you, I will give you an asset on the next task, which is you see that part of the ship's store room the wall has kind of collapsed in on them, and you're trying to move a bunch of wreckage out of the way to get at them. You can kind of see them through a gap, but you can't pull them out. They are spherical containers that are about yay big, like bigger than your head, and they have a slide on them, almost like an incense container does for the Catholic Church, where you can let little bits of them out, or you can take the whole top off of them, depending on how you're using it.
Mhm.
You can see 3 of them are inside this room. It is a might task level 5 to pull the wreckage off of them. Of course, you can work together since the 3 who succeeded on that task are in the right spot to help one another.
Abigail's just
Normal.
hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm no good with might, but I could try.
Everyone is equally good with might. That's the
Yeah.
funny bit.
All right. I go to grab to pull it. Beatrice, come on. Give me a hand. This thing is really heavy.
Sure. And she'll try to do it.
You give Joe an asset, so you don't
Okay.
have to make the check. Joe's task is eased by 1.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. And I'll put in that because we are level 1. And I have my asset.
Very nice. An
Nice.
18.
Woo!
Oh.
You put your shoulder into it,
Mhm.
and Beatrice is like putting her feet up against something, leaning against it, going, I don't. If I hold it, is that good? And you look, and the
I think I'm
gap is
working.
gap is opened up, and you pull out these 3 and hand them to Kaiser. Because both of those checks were succeeded on, and there was no delay, Kaiser, you can run this over to Lucius, and you see him. You all get an XP for delivering the light.
Yay.
Woo!
Oh.
You see Lucius crack the lid on the container and scoop out the liquid light with his fingertips. Almost, you could see he's shaking a little bit. Maybe he's nervous that he's never used this before, but he knows what it's supposed to do. And he closes his eyes as the sensation of God's light flows through him. And he begins to murmur an enchantment as he places his fingers methodically across Reggie's head and chest. The man's labored breathing eases as the light dims and is absorbed into his body, and the Flamen Sylvanus reaches into the thick golden substance again as his eyes flicker with this golden arcane light. And he looks around and calls out, "Where are all of the wounded?" There is a response. "My wife is dead, Flam. Please come help." He takes a breath. "I'm sorry, Berengar. I can offer nothing to the dead while there are still those who might be saved. We will all be together later. Many tears will be shed today, I am sure." Another woman waves where she has climbed on a chunk of the mast, tipped up, and beckons Lucius over. He turns to you, Kaiser, and says, "Would you mind bringing the capsule away to me? It is difficult to move without a spilling." Um, so you follow, if you accept that, you follow him on his rounds. He looks around as you are walking towards this woman. He goes, "This is not how I imagined using the light so soon. There is much harm among the wreckage." And he looks back, and in the scar we've left in the woods, before it is sink into the snow, try to gather as much as you can. He starts to call out to people. You will need a metal or a glass or a container to hold it and keep it from leaking or dispersing. The Flamen Sylvanus begins to heal all of the injured. And this includes restoring a full 6 pool points to all of you during the process. But as the end of his rounds come, and you will be still doing actions while he's doing this, the rest of you who aren't following him, by the end of his rounds, though, there will be a mere few drops of light in the first capsule that was brought to him, as he has used it all up as a well of healing energy. Make me a level 6 search investigation task to try and find non-porous glass and metal containers that have survived this, in order to try and gather up some more of the light.
Can I be looking for my sword while I do so?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
If you pass the check, you find both.
Wonderful. You said level 6?
Yep.
I believe in myself.
I believe in me.
Nope. Didn't believe that hard.
Ooh.
Oh, Beatrice, success!
Yay. Thank God
And a
for that
16
edge.
feels as good as a nat 20.
Yeah. How much would that cost for me then? For my pool?
One level of effort. Do you have intellect edge?
Yes.
So it would cost you 2 points.
Okay. Sorry, I'm still working on that part.
Yep.
Whoa.
First level of effort is 3 points. Any further level of effort is 2. But you only have one level of effort right now. So you only spend 3.
Normally the cost you would spend would be at the bottom of the roll.
Oh.
But yours
messed it
says a
up.
+1.
You put a cost in?
No, I just said, well, yeah, it was like it's my edge, right? Is that the cost? No.
Mm-mm.
No,
No.
Edge is
That
just
stays
a
zero.
factor. Your edge is a modifier, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
It takes away from the amount of points you spend.
Oh, okay. Then, oops.
So if you have 3 edge,
Mhm.
your first level of effort would normally cost 3.
Cost 0
You
then.
subtract it costs 0.
Okay.
But everybody starts with just 1 edge.
It's
So
like
you're
a
okay.
just
discount coupon that you get to cash in at the end of all of the math.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll remember that for next time.
no problem. It's the weird part of the game because the word edge does not mean anything in terms of reducing a cost of things. It just doesn't make
No.
sense.
But
But basically,
it
you're
always
so good.
subtracts.
Yeah, you're so good at being whatever that skill is, your intellect. You don't have to work as hard to get intellect things
Mhm.
done. Whereas if you don't have any edge in a pool, you have to pay the full price because you don't have an idea of how to do it. Whereas effort you can spend anywhere.
edge.
Yeah, I've got an edge, which means
An
it's easier for me.
edge.
I understand where they were coming from, but it not not the
The
greatest.
verbiage is confusing.
Yep.
While they're looking, are myself and Lucius walking by any of the spilled radiance?
Yes, it is kind of like it kind of splattered everywhere, as well as got dragged along behind in a 100 feet, couple hundred feet behind the ship. But yes, there is a bunch on the ground that you can scoop up as you go. Obviously, holding it in your hands, it's like trying to pick up Jello.
Right.
You need a proper container for it.
Yeah, he'll like kind of put it into the container, but then keep a little bit on his fingers, kind of like Lucius, and see if he can't pull something from it as well as he did the green crystals.
Indeed, you can. You feel the light. Do you want to absorb energy as well?
Yes, please.
All right, roll your D10.
Nice.
It'd be funny if it's a 1 again.
Nice.
Oh, 5. It would just be funny if like the first
Hey,
4
that's
times you did it is like 1. 1.
But then the fifth time you did it, it was a
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You feel the light flow into you from upon high. Light, life, a gift given to you from above, and a gift for you to share with those around you. Without this divine energy, all hope would be lost. And it fills you with a sense of the awesome responsibility of sharing and using what only the sun can provide. Without care and control, structure and organization, the power could run wild. It must not be allowed to do so. The magic tells you this as it seeps through your veins. Its purpose is to unify, to build, to grow.
Kind of given the dire straits we're in, kind of a peaceful and serene look on Kaiser's face. Comfort. As if he's back in his office. He was thinking, yes, order is great. Sharing is great. The great are good.
Lucius, as you scoop some back into his container, and he sees you, and I don't think you know it, but your eyes glow very faintly with that golden light, which his have been doing each time he has dipped into this well. He kind of smiles at you and nods in the way that a patron does, when you are partaking of things in the right way. He doesn't feel the need to say a lot of words to you, but there is sort of an acknowledgement that yes, you feel what this light is, what this gift is.
Is this what your faith does to you? Is this how it makes you feel?
Yes, if you understand the touch of the goddess, it's a beautiful thing to know that following her is great and good. Come, there are more hurt. We should not dawdle. And he kind of, we can talk later.
kind of jams his hand in his pocket as he's cradling this vessel and toys with the green crystal he's kept with himself.
As you start to dig around, Beatrice and and Kiara, you find yourselves beside one another again, going through uh, going through the. You found yourself in the mess hall, and you are pulling out a big cauldron that has for stew or something that has been scrubbed a million times and then burned a million times, but it has a tight fitting lid on it because it needs one. It has a big handle. You find a like a mixing bowl that someone has. You find a couple of bottles that have they don't have corks in them. Instead, they have some kind of screw cap, some kind of metal cap that someone has clamped down upon them. You rapidly pour out whatever cheap wine was in them or mead onto the ground, and you have a bunch of containers. Gathering this up is going to be a speed task. You can get anyone's help with it that you want, but a level 4 speed task to see if you can fill all of these containers up before, as you've done this, you can see that the snow, although it is melting from the warmth of this light, it is also the ground itself, it seems to be absorbing this as a natural matter of course.
Okay, I'm pushing this here, but because she worked with a lot of liquids that have probably spilled a lot, can she have like a little advantage on this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, for Beatrice.
But only because they probably spilled a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 4. The difficulty was 4.
Yes, 4.
Ooh!
Very nice. Fabio has dusted the children off and placed them on top of a like a crate that has fallen out of the ship, and given them a couple of blankets. Oh, major effectual!
I'm really good at this. Her husband spills a lot.
Um, so I will say that you gather up and fill all of the containers you can, 5 or 6 containers. You kind of double up the amount that you thought you would have had. Beatrice, Kiara, if you want, um, and both of you, as you are doing this, get the same kind of feeling that Kaiser has. That
Mhm.
light is good and beautiful. You can't help but touch the stuff as you go.
Mhm.
Um, so first of all, I will say to Kiara, you can pocket a bottle of this and no one is going to notice for yourself for later as your major effect.
I'm
If you
100%
want.
doing that. I'm gonna
Okay.
have the little like mocha pot, like the kind you use to make espresso when you're camping.
Yeah.
Little
Just
metal
go
one.
fill one of those.
All right. You have some magic light, but you're
Put
not
that in my
really that
inventory.
much of a magic person, so you're not sure what to do with it. Um,
It's
Beatrice,
okay. I hang out with some magic people now. Sure, they can
Yeah.
figure it out.
you uh you know this is distilled magic. You feel the things that were communicated are being communicated through it, and with your previous experience, unlike uh Kaiser who takes it at face value,
Mm.
you know someone has or something has injected these feelings into it, that at its core it's raw power. it does
Mm.
it does what you shape it to do.
Mhm.
You can do whatever you want with it. It's just going to whisper in your ear all of the time, if it's the golden light, that it's for help and sharing and growing. But you don't have to pay attention to that if you
Yeah,
don't want to.
true. Um, she'll kinda make a note of that, and then just help finish up the rest of the, bottling.
So you end up with a lineup of pots and jars and bottles. The light glowing through even the darkest green and brown bottles that you've managed to grab, uh, like little candles lined up in the snow. The snow does not last anywhere that you ball this stuff out. Basically, it all melts away in a big circle around it. Someone has gone a few steps into the forest that you kind of come out. The ship kind of slowed down at the edge of a forest. Behind you is a lightly wooded area with some pine trees that is just has this big long scar right through the middle of it. Make me and the crew is kind of crawling around taking stock. The people are setting things up. There's kind of this discussion. At first it's an argument, and then eventually it seems like Captain Castano gives in and people start cutting up the foremast's sail and hacking away at the broken mast to make tents, because there's an argument that some kind of shelter needs to be made. Because the ship is intact, also some people are trying to stay on the ship, but it is listing to the side, so it is not the most comfortable place to hang out. But you can kind of adjust for that because it's only about 10, 15 degrees off kilter. So you sort of see this little tent village popping up. Unfortunately, what you also see is a bunch of the dead getting dragged out as this process continues.
Kiara would try to go get her kids before that happens.
I will say that there were 30 crew and 60 passengers on the ship, of which 20 are the children of the children. All told, in people lost and then people dead, you have lost about a quarter of those. So you have 45 of the family left alive. I'm not in the business of killing children, so they're orphans now. Congrats.
Oh.
And about 22, 23 of the crew, including Scalwag. So
he survived.
He survived. Yeah,
Scalwag
survived.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay, so how much is left of the crew? I'm so sorry.
22 or 23 of the 30.
Okay, of the 30, so about 7.
Yeah, lost about a quarter of them.
Okay, all right, just making sure. Sorry.
So you realize, your kids are kind of hunched up there in a blanket, and as you're bringing over these glowing pots, they keep hunkering closer because no one's quite got the fire started yet at this point, and they're like, "Oh," you look at your daughter, and she goes, "It's nice, Mom. They're warm."
And I'm actually gonna pull out this one. This one is really special. This one is for when you have a really big wish, something where you really want somebody to feel better, but you gotta keep this one a secret, okay?
Okay.
If you hold it really tight, it should help you stay warm. You cuddle up with Luca, and I want you to think about all the exciting adventures we're gonna have in our new home. Use those.
Yeah,
Think about
it's
these
a
sunny
big
days coming up.
It's a big mess. Are they? How long is it going to take to clean up this mess? Because this looks worse. It's worse than my room.
You know how your dad sometimes, instead of cleaning up a mess, he sort of turns it into something different and pretends he wanted to do that the whole time?
You mean like the garden?
Yes, exactly. We're gonna do something kind of like that.
Oh, okay. Is Dad gonna be in charge?
Oh, he can't be in charge because he's gonna be too busy helping you guys. But he'll be around. He'll be here to help.
Okay. She kind of nods and she's looking around and she's just bewildered by all of the activity that's going on because there are now tents popping up and people, shoving snow out of the way, and uh, all of this hustle and bustle in a barely controlled panic. Many of the people who were injured, though, have obviously had a literal miraculous recovery,
Mhm.
um, as Lucius is sort of finishing up his rounds at this point.
I'm gonna go find Fabio though, because bet he knows how to make a fire decently
Actually,
well. Ooh, go
Mhm.
ahead.
no, you go first.
Mm. No, you look like you have something in mind, so you go ahead.
Can I find Nero and Dante? If Nero's with her dad, though, she will just find Dante.
uh, no, I think Dad is probably tagging
Okay.
along with Lucius at the moment.
Oh, all
So
right.
yeah, Nero and Dante. Nero's like, okay, this was uh, my ankle was really sore, and then the flamen he come by, and right is the raining from the sky. It's good. What the
Okay.
hell happened?
Not quite sure, but we're here, and apparently nobody has thought of the brilliant idea of fire. So, where do you think? And she'll look more to Dante about this than Nero, but like, where would be some wood? And also, where are maybe pieces of wood from the ship that we can use instead?
It was where it was a dragging, a bunch of stuff broke off. Come this way, and
Mhm.
he like takes you out back, and there's like trunks have come out and knocked a bunch of trees over. Branches
Mhm.
have all splintered and flown in all directions. And he picks a few of them up and he holds them. Now he has no idea how to strip branches or tinder or
Yeah.
anything else. He's just like holding whole boughs from a pine tree.
She'll still tell Nero and Dante, okay, I want you to all gather as much wood as you can. Let's go find a decent area to set up a fire.
He goes, oh, well, I noticed the wind is on this side, so
We want
it's
not
quieter
enough.
over here
Okay.
in the nicer, so you don't not as much of a breeze. Because I know if you have a fire, it's going to blow all over the
Yeah,
place.
we don't want that. Okay. All right. So she'll she'll see if she can help them out, like finding a place to like set this up. Has never officially set up a fire.
All right. You know what? I'm going to say intellect task level 3 to figure out uh, bonfire design and location.
I like the
uh,
idea that she has no idea how to set one, but she's determined to figure it out.
I have an idea.
How hard could it be?
How hard could it be? Yay! I did it.
Very nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So you make
Oh, I messed
a
up my class
pile,
again.
kind of a pyramid pile, and uh, Nero is like, I think if we make it like a little pieces, it works a better. You start with the little pieces and then they burn up into the bigger pieces. So you have like this kind of vaguely tent shaped uh, pile of wood and that. And she goes, but you do that that the trick, right? She's like very coy about
That's
it. She goes, because otherwise it takes like a lot of
yeah,
rubbing a thing or
I'm
spinning a
aware.
thing.
I'm
You could
aware of
just
that. Just okay. Take a step
okay.
back. Give me a moment, please. So
Okay.
impatient.
They
And yeah, I think
they
she
turn
will. Oh,
they
sorry.
turn back to you and kind of like try and spread out themselves like hey, we're not, everything's
We're
fine here.
try to be not suspicious. I think she will. Yes, use her blessings of the gods to yeah, to look at that pyre. Yeah, pyre. I said it wrong for a second. Uh, I think for her, she will kind of like close her eyes in a moment, almost as she's mimicking prayer, and direct her hands towards like the pile.
Um As you close your eyes, you, within sort of a short distance of you, have this sense of little motes of green and gold energy sitting in the snow, embedded in the ship. And this thing is a familiar thing to you, a regular thing, and you feel your mind reach out and pluck one of the motes, squeeze the energy back out of it, and push it where you want to go. And the flames ignite at the bottom of the fire, and instantly the heat emanates outward, and the bonfire comes to light. And Nero turns around and she gives you like a pat on your shoulder. She goes, "That's my Beatrice."
Oh, yes, that was successful. Go gather other people that can be moved, and let's get them near a fire. Or what is it? Hyperthermia? Is that what that is? Yes, that's it.
Yeah. The wind. It is now like mid to late afternoon as things are sort of going here, and people start to gather around. Some of the when they realize that there's a fire going, other people start to grab wood that they had gathered, realizing that, oh, the fire's like already started. How did that happen? It's just sort of this like, we're not gonna ask any questions. There's a fire, it's warm, it's big. Let's go for that. A couple people take wood, like tinder, and get that, and they start a couple. So there's 2 or 3 fires now with little very rudimentary tents and lean-tos around them, just away from the ship. Things kind of have calmed down. There is a line of bodies far away from the bow of the ship, way off in front. And Constano sort of got you, Abigail, and you, Kaiser, while she was doing these things. And Beatrice was, sorry, and Chiara was dealing with her family. And uh, he just kind of bows his head, and the Flamen is there, and he bows his head as well. And they sort of look to both of you and are like, where did these friends, these family, how do we say goodbye on such short notice?
Abigail's going to look at Kaiser to answer that question.
Kaiser kind of reaches into his vest, pauses for a moment, and then kind of like does the "where are my keys" thing. Then he lifts up like the back flap of his vest and pulls out. It's a small like leather-bound pad of paper, and it's very messily kept. It's things are shoved in it, things are perhaps stapled to it, and he flips it open, and a few pages fly out. Surely they weren't important. But he looks over and says, the only way that we can properly say goodbye to anyone who meant a great deal to us is to know that they will not be forgotten. It's a matter of the sun. She is there forever. They are here forever with us. We make our first effort once people have settled in. Make a monument. Because this is not how we are going to remember them. We are going to remember the way they smiled, the way they made us laugh and feel loved. each time that we look upon this thing that we all come together and make. That is what we will think of. Not this. Not the hurt.
Lucius looks at you, goes, and we will remember all of their names. And we will look at their faces one last time, and we will write them down. And we will remember who was sacrificed for us to get here. And he takes you to the end of the line, and the captain comes with you. And slowly, one by one, whether it be crew or passenger, you take down the name in your little notebook of each of those who did not survive the original journey. There is some discussion, and there were 3 or 4 people who simply disappeared into the night, and those names are written down as well. There is no accounting for them. It is not an easy thing to do, but you also know that this might not be the end of the list that you have to write, because your prospects are questionable at the moment. So with the serious work done and a brief discussion about gathering rocks when you get a chance in order to cover these people in some respectful way, at least until the thaw. There is a very brief mention of using the light to thaw the ground, and it is quickly dismissed as the amount of ground and the amount of light do not add up to something that is practicable in this particular moment. Captain Castano posts a single midshipman just to guard the site, to make sure that no one is going to come and disturb anything there. And you walk away from the quietest part of the forest. You return to a roaring bonfire, and a bunch of people who, although a bit shell-shocked, have found a need, perhaps, to do something that is not ruminating over what has just happened, and are throwing strange cones and branches into the fire to see if they pop and crackle differently, or if they burn with different colors. And there is a chance for all of you to regroup and discuss things as the afternoon wears on towards the evening. The ship being intact and having all the cargo successfully tied down means that immediately you do not need food for tonight or for the next couple of days. And strangely, having lost a few people, that has stretched your provisions potential perhaps longer than it originally would have been. But the original plan was for the ships to stay a week or 2 here, and then to depart with just their crew and leave all of those travelers and passengers behind. You are not sure what that plan has metamorphosized into at the moment. But you all find yourselves around one of the 2 or 3 fires. Fabio has been helping people gather and get organized all of the provisions and foodstuffs to try and figure out how to dole it out. And I would say probably Beatrice has, Chiara has returned with a packet of dried salt pork and some biscuits for all of those who would be at the fire, as well as a bottle of the more palatable wine that survived the trip.
I think Kiara tries to make the salted pork into like a really, with the biscuits, kind of trying to make it into a bit of a stew sort of thing. Something that, feels a little more warm and hearty. It's maybe not the most delicious thing in the world, but it feels nicer than some dried rations.
Your little son goes, soup! And then he tastes it, and he looks at you and he goes, soup?
Luca, it is magic soup.
Oh
Just
no,
makes a
she's one of
face.
those moms.
No, so see, you know how your dad, see how he can lift all of those really big belts of wood that he used to help these fires come into play? You want to be able to do that?
Good
Because he ate
soup?
all of his soup. Yeah.
He looks at the soup. He looks to his sister. His sister doesn't have any more commitment to soup than he does.
I look at Cece and I'm kind of like, oh, come on.
He's like, it is a soup, Mom. Mom, yeah.
It'll keep you warm.
The rest of you have, all of you have a chance to discuss whatever it is you might be discussing at this juncture.
I don't know if Abigail would be discussing so much as she would be looking around the fires, maybe doing kind of circles, like hopping from fire to fire, so she could like observe the environment for anything that might come out of anywhere that's not the group, like the woods.
During the daytime, you don't see a lot of wildlife moving in the woods or anything. You do hear, interestingly, birds in the trees, occasionally chirping, and you see some motion there. If you're looking all around very carefully, you might see the occasional tracks, but because you're not really a wilderness person, you're not 100% sure what those tracks are. But there are footprints in the snow from things that are not human, having come and gone at some point in the last few days, you would guess. Hard to tell, not knowing what the weather was prior to your arrival. You're certain that the great arrival of a gigantic wooden ship carving a huge swath through the forest scared off a lot of things.
Yeah.
But during the daytime, nothing untoward. But you know also that the light you've been told over and over again that the light is a protective light.
Mm-hmm. That's all she does. Unless somebody wants to be like, "Hey, Abigail, what are you doing?" That's just what she's gonna do.
What does she look like right now in this moment? Remind me.
Abigail?
Yeah.
Think of like a really. She's kind of like a cannonball comes to your mind anytime someone mentions Abigail or she appears anywhere in your periphery. She is. I mean, you would know her as someone who worked with the family, as someone who enforced and
No, I'm just
protected the
wondering if
family.
she looks imposing. To what point she looks imposing?
Oh, yeah, always. Always
Yeah,
imposing.
Okay, I'm gonna point to her and tell Luca, she also ate all her soup. Look how strong she is.
He's just kind of like he's more scared of the idea that Abigail might come take his soup, I think, is what has occurred to him.
Love it.
He like
What she
holds,
does.
yeah. He kind of pulls the soup close to him, but he still doesn't really think it's great. It's one of those.
Yeah.
I'll do you a favor, Mom. I'm not going to throw it on the floor by accident, but that's all you're getting out of me. Luke is 4, by the way, for those of you who don't know.
He's doing his dangest.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that Kaiser saw Nero and Beatrice sitting next to each other by a fire, and he walks up and like sits between them.
Okay.
It's very nice for you to make room for your elders. It's uncharacteristically kind for you, Beatrice.
Oh, Kaiser, we all survived. Well, most of us survived.
I have a question. Does the sun set here?
Yeah, it's a great question.
It does.
Ah. Well, wherever she is offering us new hope.
Speaking
And
of,
hope that that list of names doesn't grow much larger, if it does at all. Survived. Thanks to a small part, those who are no longer with us. Fine. He puts his arm around Nero. I'm very glad that you two made it. And your sister, and that a cannonball.
no, Abigail. What do you mean? I don't know why she's glaring into the woods, though. I haven't seen anything.
I feel like she's seen some things.
She can't keep that up all night, but if she keeps it up long enough, I don't think anything will come near us.
I hope she does keep it up all night.
Nero puts her head on your shoulder, Kaiser, and just kind of like slumps and relaxes for the first time of the day. She goes, "It's a big fire that the Beatrice made, Father.
Just help
It's a
set
good
it up.
one."
You made this.
Oh, just directed people, as I normally do.
Oh, you told people what to do. That's very you.
Yes.
Are they the captain and them? Are they stuck here like us?
Might be.
Uh, okay, I've never been one to lie or try to sugarcoat. Yes. Yes. We are all stuck here. But not all bad. Look at the fire. This is the stuff of hope. It's nighttime. Desimata is the stuff of hope.
Speaking of Desimata, what did you mean? Her arm got chopped off?
Did you not see the arm?
I was below deck in the kitchen. No.
Did she? Okay, while I was chatting up the stewardess,
Oh, okay.
I do that from time to time. I'm a
Ladies' man?
I know I was a very desirable person. I'd like to think I haven't lost much of that since losing my office, due in no small part to present company. But we were following the arm. Arm? It was an arm. As weird as it sounds.
Yes. My question is, how did it get cut off?
He pulls out one of the green crystal he's kept with him. Probably has something to do with this.
Think crystal could cut a god?
I think this is more than just a crystal. Or at least it was. Does he feel anything resonating in this?
At the moment, no. As though you have drained a battery.
He throws it into the fire. That is not for us. That is for me that is for the you is for not us.
Nero goes, aren't the me and you us? You don't make any sense, Father. Am I? Have you already gotten into the mead?
No, I'm afraid I've gotten into something more potent.
And you didn't share.
Yeah, I didn't think
I'm
they
an
carried
adult,
drugs
you
on
know.
this. I didn't think they carried drugs on this. I thought that was the whole point.
That, and he points into the fire where he threw that is not something to share. It's just for the you, or the me. But not for us.
It is like drugs, then, she says. Sometimes you don't want to share.
Sounds very, very similar. Do I see my sister around?
Yeah, she's parked around one of the other fires trying to goad her children into eating her concoction. Probably only like 30 or 40 feet away from you.
Okay.
Keeps pointing at Annabelle or Abigail.
Yeah. Her husband has
Why
come
is
and,
she-
and sat down. He looks beat, like tired. But he's got even though it's kind of cold out, he has his sleeves rolled up. He's been sweating. And he's sitting on a log that someone has propped up beside them.
Okay. I think I'll start wandering over there.
Indeed.
Yeah, what can I do for you? Oh, that's the wrong character. What can I do for you?
Like, dang, you have a new accent and everything. You hit your head really hard. I just wanted to check in on my family.
Hmm. You're are holding together as best can be expected.
Yes, they seem like a sturdy bunch. You don't know why you keep pointing to Abigail, but
Encouragement.
sure. I usually find her as discouragement for others, but
Well, that might be what she's doing. Either way, I just whatever works. What what do we think we're going to be doing tomorrow?
oh, I thought you said we're trekking out and surviving.
Hmm. That requires plans, direction.
Okay. Well, do you currently know where we are? Because we're not on the place we're supposed to be landed.
You know if there's been any mapping of this world that we have access to.
That might be a great question for the captain.
She looks significantly at you like, uh-huh.
I'm surprised you haven't asked the captain already.
I thought you could do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm needed.
Your skills might be lacking in many areas of survival, but one thing I think we both know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is you don't let anything get in the way when you want something. So,
That is true. I guess I could go wander around and find the captain.
we'll be charming.
Oh, oh, though speaking of my lackluster survival skills, you are welcome for the fires. And she'll say that as she goes walking off to go look for the captain anywhere. I'll make sure to tell him you said hello.
Um, the tattooed man has come to find you on your patrol, Abigail, and is kind of like he sees that you're not stopping just because he came to talk to you, so he kind of comes in step with you. You know he doesn't speak a lot of English. It's something you've gathered over the 3 weeks, but he has nevertheless approached you, and he goes, strong work today.
Thank you.
Kind of looks, and he looks at you where your gaze is going. He goes, you don't stop work.
Not really, no.
Failing is a dirty hands job. He kind of holds his hands up and flexes them, sort of to indicate physical work.
I've done a lot of dirty jobs in the past.
You different. Lots of soft hands on the ship. How many willing to get dirty? Work hard.
She kind of looks back at the people and she says, I did the hard work for them, usually.
Was then, is now. Any of them good?
She points out Kaiser and Kiara.
Okay.
Yara?
Kaiser and Kiara. He did something with the magic. The light could be useful. She is different than her family, more feet on the ground type of person. Different than her sister, though. Her sister tends to tell people what to do, which is a skill in and of itself, I guess. But she is the reason we have these fires, so she's obviously useful for something.
Kind of looks at the reason we have these fires thing and kind of looks and he goes, Captain is smart, organized. Many thoughts. Like he's trying to like convey sort of that he's a strategist of some kind. He goes,
Yeah,
Scalwag is tough as nails.
I noticed.
They talk tonight. One of them will get his way.
Ooh.
Is that something that needs to be of concern? Should I be worried about that?
Don't use many words. You know someone who does. Maybe have some words for you in that talk.
She glances over
Fading.
at Beatrice.
The fading light of Desimata as she dips all the way below the horizon is accompanied by a slowing of the winds as you do this walk. The temporary shelters are getting battened all the way down as people start to think about how to bunker down for the night. The fires discussion is getting kept about how to keep them going overnight, to let them die down to tinders, but not all, or to embers, but not all the way. You're all a bit worn out looking, all of the passengers and everyone else, but there's enough salted meat and biscuits to go around. Bellies will be full, although not necessarily happy. Not all of the mead and ale barrels survived, so there is certainly less joking and chanting than there might have been. But as you make your walk around this patrol that you have had the sense of, in a section of the woods that is far away from that scar, you start to see, moving somewhere in the darkness, some kind of shambling thing. More than one coming through the woods. Do you call out for help? Maba looks into the woods where you're looking, and he peers out, and he's like, apparently your eyes are a little better than his.
Mm-hmm. So before I answer this question, Flamen gave us a +6 to our pools, right? Like
Yep.
a +6 heal. Okay,
Yep.
great.
Oh, cool.
Just gonna add that real quick.
The rest of you would have had, because the rest of you rested, the rest of you would have had your 1 hour recovery if you wanted at this point.
Yes, please.
Because you've been sitting around eating dinner for a while the sun went down.
So you'd have 2 D6s then?
So he gave you a full 6.
Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
he didn't give you he gave you a full 6 when he heals you, and then you would have you would have 2 d6s, one from your action roll and one from your 10-minute, no problem.
Okay. I'll roll again then so I can get some more.
Abigail, I think what is this? Maba?
Yep.
Maba will see Abigail instinctively reach for her sword that isn't there, and she kind of makes this frustrated sound. She goes, "We should tell the others that something's coming."
You look shuffling and stumbling. It is a small crowd of humanoids that comes into view some 100 feet away. There is a mumbling and a groaning noise, faint in the distance. Maba pulls out from a well-wrapped packet at his side. He pulls out a long shard, glowing green, that has been repeatedly wrapped with cloth on one end and knotted. And he passes it into your hand, and he holds one in his hand, and he goes, "Something in the woods, Captain!" And you watch as people all stand up at the fires, and the captain calls out, a bosun's whistle goes off, and all of a sudden a bunch of the able-bodied people start to rush towards you, and a bunch of the crew start to shuffle all the children and the weaker people into the ship that is complete as this rush of bodies starts to move around. I will give you some art of the things that you see as they come out of the woods.
I'm worried.
Da, 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 da.
Oh my god.
Oh.
What are these
Spooky.
And as their eyes
vampires?
reflecting silvery in the moonlight, and the rest of them a black, shiny shape march towards you. We'll leave it there for next week.
Oh my god.
Guys, what the fuck?
First encounters. Zombies.
Yay!
Holy shit.
Sambos. Thank you for that little heal, because I was like, I'm cruising a little low on some things. Ugh.
So
Okay.
what is the weapon that Maba gave Abigail?
It is a light weapon, unfortunately for
Okay.
you.
I'm trained in those.
But oh yeah, no, it's just because it only does 2 damage. But you can
Oh,
always put
yeah.
in a little extra effort.
Yeah.
But you will find it does have some specific use against these creatures.
Ooh. That's cool.
Ooh.
That's
That's
fascinating.
cool.
Also, your punches, don't they count as like a medium weapon or something?
Yep.
Yep.
They sure do.
Damn.
Yeah. Well,
We
welcome
did
to
it.
Aurora. Welcome to
Yeah.
Starbirth.
We did it. Let's land.
Fuck yeah.
So I hope that wasn't at all what you were expecting, and also was what you were expecting.
It was great.
10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. You gotta go.
Would recommend.
Oh
fantastic.
man.
Practiced is different from trained, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
practice means you are not impaired, because normally,
Yeah.
sorry, you're not hindered, because normally if a weapon, they came up with practice because it used to be either you were hindered or trained.
Mhm.
Practice means you can use it without penalty, regardless of what it is. So
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
Can't wait to stay all the way in the back over there.
Yeah, let other people fight.
Yep.
Did I have at least the ability to take a 10-minute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think you would have been smart enough to take a breather in there somewhere, to not immediately start marching around constantly while you're.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
And there was plenty of time before the sun set. Like it took a couple of hours for dinner to get organized. So.
Yeah.
I have a question on that as well.
Oh,
'Cause,
everybody take an XP for hard landing and all the jazz.
because we have the starting equipment. Do we have any weapons?
Oh, I definitely took weapons.
For this fight, you
Dagger.
will be handed a weapon of some kind. You can pick whether it's light or medium, whatever the crew throws in your hands. And if you want hammer, axe, pickaxe, whatever, like, yeah. I'm easy, but yeah, you'll have something.
I got a dagger.
Fabulous.
Or you don't need it because you just beat the shit out of people with your fists and hands.
No, but it'd be nice to have something for range as well.
Yep. Yeah. If you want.
No, you got to get up right in there. If you're gonna use
face to face.
if you're gonna use hands as weapons, you just gotta get right up in their business.
I feel like with the numbers that he described, we'll probably have an opportunity for both.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be great.
I remember our first Cypher System combat.
Oh, those the worms?
Worm
Yeah.
bug thing.
Yeah.
They were called they were camouflage things. What were they called? They were level 2. It was fucking hilarious. And it went so badly.
They
It was awful.
What were they mimicking? Was it coins?
Yep.
No, there was a few different things they were mimicking. There was one was a part of a backpack, and
Oh
one
yeah,
was,
that's right. That's right.
yeah. But yeah, they are the Cypher equivalent of mimics, and man, did you guys
smack them with a shovel?
Yep. And then pick them up in the shovel and then dump them in the
recycle bin.
Yep. Because the guy knew you probably have them all over you, but he wasn't gonna try and beat them up for you. He thought you could handle that. There was
like, that's none of my business.
I went back and looked at the rolls, Natalie, for that session, and I think out of it was weird. It was like they rolled 29 times in the session totally.
Mm-hmm.
And out of that, I think like 19 or 21 rolls were under 10. It was a brutal time.
It was so bad.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough. I gotta take my dog outside, so I'll be right back.
Yes.
I have actually got to go to bed because I got to get up early and go do that color.
Good night, sir. It was
Much
lovely
love,
having
everyone.
you.
Thank you for the amazing session. I cannot wait to see what we get into.
We appreciate you.
I loved meeting Kaiser.
I loved meeting.
I
all your
loved how.
characters.
I loved seeing how much he loved his daughter.
Oh yeah.
Yes, very sweet.
She's all I got left.
Aww.
All right. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
I feel like Brennan
Oh.
with "I will kill that dog."
Kill that dog.
I like to think the reason that Kiara knows how to climb is because one of her kids likes to hide in high places. So she got good at climbing. It's like, get the hell down.
I do like how you've weaponized mom skills.
Yep.
Very much.
Well, that was one of the things about the character concept. Joe kept going, I don't know how she's good at anything that's going to be useful here. So I think where she landed was moms are tough.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, she embodies the mama bearness. So they're like, fuck off.
I like to think her needs no need for weapons is just the adrenaline moms get when their children are in danger. You know? I'm gonna lift a car kind of thing.
Yeah.
But meanwhile,
Well,
Abigail is just, I'm going to fuck you up.
The justification I had in my head was just unruly patrons at the coffee shop. Like, get the hell out.
Yeah. Sometimes they just get a little bit too rowdy.
I like your justification better, though. I think I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. I don't know people who get too rowdy at coffee shops. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, you've not been to one in Europe.
No. Is it that obvious?
Well, the one. Okay, so I'm not thinking of a coffee shop like a Starbucks. I'm thinking of a coffee shop like the kind that have drugs and alcohol.
Oh,
like a Nederlander.
Amsterdam coffee shop.
Yeah, that exactly.
That's not a universal experience, Joe.
No, sorry. The reason I'm thinking is because fantasy coffee shops wouldn't be like Starbucks. They'd be like a place where
they'd be like taverns.
They'd be kind of like like think Middle Eastern, like hookahs and things like that.
No, I get what you mean. I do.
Yeah.
So the reason that tea became popular is because coffee shops were sordid places where men were really disgusting, and women wouldn't go into coffee shops because they were so banal and gross, and men were so uncouth. So they came up with the idea of serving tea instead, and you could be polite, and you could have you could be delicate, and families and women could go to tea shops.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, it's like men would smoke and discuss things loudly over coffee and be rude, and yeah, it was too much. So there was literally a social strata for coffee and tea.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's the kind of coffee shop I was thinking about.
I love that.
There's nothing I love more than narrating a complicated action sequence in Numenera. Or in Cypher, and like the system just lends itself, because I know you guys are debating about how hard you want to try to do stuff, because more shit is coming down the pipe or down the pike, whichever.
Yeah, one of the ones that I saw when I was talking about it with Greg was the needs no weapons. I was like, I'm like, yeah, it sounds like her.
Fucking with my bare hands. Really nice that you were patrolling the woods, because originally I didn't know if any of you would be. So I have a bunch of stuff written out for how you find out that there's something in the woods. I'm like, oh, you're just there patrolling the woods. So
Abigail's on it already.
Abigail's way ahead of the curve right now. We're good. We got it all under control. Sweet.
It's totally fine. Nothing is surprising us at all.
Nope.
I very much love the relationship between Beatrice and Kiara.
Or Kiara, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kiara's
They're
like,
just the sister energy.
Yeah.
The sister
I need
energy.
to get along with her because I don't want to die.
And her being like, oh, what? Am I needed? Such a fucking little sister thing to say.
No, right?
I think it's funny because she has, by the rules, by descended from nobility, she has a retinue of 3 people.
Yeah.
Like that's not my idea. That's in the book. So she literally does have people to boss around who kind of hang on her every word. And it's just like, oh, it's and of course one of them happens to be Kaiser's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which was
I
really
want to
sweet
set her to
to
babysit
Kaiser.
at some point and see what happens because I think it would be funny.
Hmm?
I said I want Beatrice to have to babysit at some point because I think it'll be funny.
That
Man,
would be.
those kids would get into so much trouble.
I know. It'd be great.
I
told
do
her-
like the idea of Beatrix just like letting them of like, yeah, no, that's definitely a good idea what you're doing.
She's
Just go
the aunt
for
who's
it.
like, "Oh, you haven't had wine? Well, let me pour you a glass. It's great."
truly the drunk the what is it, the wine aunt.
The
Truly a
wine aunt, yeah.
No, I didn't.
I am so happy to introduce you to Cypher System, Natalie. Finally,
Yes.
after all of this time.
I liked it. Sorry for asking the same question like 3 separate times, but
Not worried
when I first started for like 3-4 sessions, I thought you could only use effort like once
that's what I thought too originally.
every like recovery roll. And I was like, oh my god, I gotta be really careful with how I spend
That's
this.
what I thought too. I was like, I gotta be careful because I can't go overboard.
No, you can spend effort every check, every action.
Mhm.
But it really lends itself, anyway, the way I like to run it, it really lends itself to that kind of like feeling like you're in a movie action sequence where you're trying stuff and you're trying to decide how hard do I need to try to this particular thing. And again, the stuff like, oh, I want to grab the bottom of the sail and pull on it, like as an
That was clever.
improvisation.
That was really good.
And it's something where, like D&D, I'd have a really tough time figuring out. Here's the difference. Because I thought,
what's the mechanic for that in D&D? What skill do you use?
Even if I assign it a skill, it's like it's a you make it or you don't make it check. So what was the point? Whereas you now have to decide, oh, do I put a level of effort into it? Or do I have something I can spend on it to make the check worth it? Like, do I up my odds? Because you don't have any control over that in D&D. Either you have a +8 or you don't. It's just kind of like, well, why are we making all these checks? Here, it's like every time I assign a difficulty, you're like, okay, to make this doable, to give myself the chance, I gotta ask for help, or I gotta put effort in, or I gotta use a cipher, or that's the fun bit for me. Is like, how tapped out are you? Are you tapped out yet?
Right.
Are you
and
worried?
how much are you willing to make yourself tapped out? Like how much? Yeah.
Because taking 3 or 4 damage is super possible in the moment. So advancements, which I don't think, have we ever really gotten into the weeds about advancements?
We kind of talked about it. I needed 4 experience for advancements.
Yes. How many are you sitting with? Because nobody spent
right
any.
now. Yeah.
You got 4 right now. So if you spend all 4, you cannot refuse my next GM intrusion in case it's a really shitty one. But you can take either 4 more points in your pools right now, or 1 edge in any skill or any pool, which would reduce your cost of everything you do in that pool by 1.
Which is good.
A level of effort, or a skill.
Sometimes there's an alternative too.
Yeah, there are multiple other things. I would say for your first advancement ever, stick to one of those 4 things because they are like the standard ones. One of the other ones that you don't have to ask me about is if you wanted to have +2 to all of your recovery rolls, you could have that as well. Kevin went crazy with that, and he heals so quick as Surabai. But Surabai is I don't know how to describe it. He's a column of knives. That's all he is.
That's about right.
Column of knives. That's
Instead
great.
of a hallway of knives, it's a column of knives.
It's a column of knives that walks around slicing shit up. But when he's not slicing shit up, he really has to RP hard to point other people in the direction of things he might have figured out but cannot action because he has no social skills and no investigative skills.
Just a knife.
Just a knife.
And
Which is kind of It can be a persuasive skill.
I mean,
Question.
don't get me wrong. So when I choose one of the 4 things, I just put that in the tier 1 advancement number 1 thing, right?
Yeah. So tier advancement number 1, you type in 4 pool points.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you cannot take 4 pool points twice in the same tier.
Okay, I did not know that. It's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can you
Greg.
have to have 4 different things in the slots.
Okay.
What is the name of the session?
Ooh.
Hard landing.
Hard
Oh, that's a
landing.
good one.
Hard
It's a good name for the session.
A good name would
hard
also
in
would have
many
been
ways.
Pilot.
landing.
Just the pilot episode.
Pilot episode.
This is the pilot. You are not the pilot, but this
You're
is
not
the pilot.
This is the pilot, though.
We piloted.
I
the
am
ship,
so glad
kinda.
that both the green and the golden light have been interacted with by someone by the end of the first episode.
I'm excited about that.
That's not for us. That's for you. As for me, that's not for us.
I get what he's saying, though. It's not meant to be shared. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny
Like drugs.
because
Yeah.
if you haven't like experienced it, his daughter is just like, are you okay, Dad? Because you're not making any sense. It's like,
Did you crack open the meat a little early?
oh man.
Natalie, I'm not sure if you heard, but I absolutely love the relationship between Beatrice and
Thank you.
Kiara.
She's such a bitch.
Just the little sister energy that Beatrice brings to the table is just incredible. You said, what, am I needed? And I'm like, she's absolutely the little sister.
I can't pass that up.
Am I needed now? Oh, look at that. I think like when you first introduced her, I was like, oh, she's gonna have a tough time being useful. And then I was like, the more things came up, the more it was like, actually, she's not. I forgot about how niche social skills can be in Cypher. Now, I'll be honest. Kaiser could also go to this discussion and make a point, but the way that Beatrice would do it is just way more in your face.
I did greatly enjoy Kiara coming, just being like, yeah, so like, do your thing? Oh, that sounds like something the captain would do. You should go talk to him. We both know that's a terrible idea.
But I just like, I thought it would be fun to have this very, very privileged young lady got no real skill sets outside of being pretty and talking, just being like, okay, now you're shoved into the woods, enjoy.
It's really interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting seeing all of the different skills everybody has, because thinking about it, it's like Abigail, she's not a survivalist, but she does know how to fight, right? So that's really her one thing. And then you have Kiara, who is good at climbing, but is also just a mom. And she's that's a lot of skills. And then Kaiser, we don't really know about him much, but it's very clear that Beatrice has a very like forward presence, like very much used to taking charge of a situation in some way.
No, I took some inspiration from the socialites that I've seen growing up.
I think it will be interesting to see, like, because all of you know that this is a, I mean, the goal is get the beacon to a high point, right? That goal for the Flamen hasn't changed, right? He's going to reiterate that, despite the fact that he does not have the muscle to do it at the moment, right? But he believes in that very genuinely. So you have the objective, but it will be interesting to see. I think knowing that it's a short-term sort of thing is like, okay, who do you start out as? We all know now who you started out as, and they're all they're very distinct people. But it's like, well, who does that person end as, right? Because they're about to go through some shit that they were not prepared for, 100%.
Yeah.
And cat,
Apologies.
and it's not going to be the kind of shit that you could reasonably shake off, right?
Yeah.
You can ignore it for a little while, but I think even just seeing that Beatrice views the magic very differently than Kaiser does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's a conflict somewhere in there at some point,
Yep.
right?
Oh yes, I'm very excited for that. She hasn't had a chance to taste the new stuff yet.
Just a little bit to channel, but she did in fact. She hasn't really. Well, yeah, she has touched it. She's touched the golden stuff,
Touch the golden stuff,
but not the green.
not the green. I am gonna go to bed because I'm tired and it's summer school for the first week. I'm tired. But money.
We'll do this
Yeah.
again next week.
Money. It's important.
It is important.
Natalie, did I tell
Unfortunately.
you what I'm doing for money this summer?
What are you doing?
I've got 2 teenagers who are going to stay in the one room because my one roommate is moving
Yeah.
out, and I'm doing dorm mom at the dorm for all the other kids who are not billeted.
Good luck.
I saw the dorms; they're pretty nice, so should be
Good.
fine.
So it's like
And
kind of like you're just keeping up with them, keeping tabs and stuff.
I only do it in the evenings.
Okay.
So during the day, I'm like completely free, which is good because I need to like prep the meals for the kids that are staying here. And then yeah,
That
in the
makes sense.
evenings, my roommate Nadie will be here if they need anything.
That's good.
And yeah, she gets basically free rent for July because of it. So yeah.
That's nice. Oh, that seems more interesting than summer school. Oh, but I will see you guys next Friday. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Take a
ma'am.
5
See you next
break. I have
Friday.
no idea what to do.
Take
All right.
care.
Good night. Bye. This is really
Bye.
fun. I really like this. This is great.
Awesome.
Yes.
Good to
It
hear.
was nice seeing Beatrix or meeting
Yes.
Beatrice.
We'll see more of her. Maybe.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
Who knows? All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Ooh, the recording didn't stop the first time. Let's try.